Hey, you guys, what's going on? Get in here, get in here. Say hello to me. Even though I've been on here a few times, but I'm glad to see you guys again today. Okay. I was doing my sherry thing. So say hello to me so I can see where you are joining us from today. How about okay, what's that noise? Oh, cool. So what's going on? It's Wednesday, you guys. We are almost yeah, it's pretty much August. I don't know about anybody else, but it's August around these parts. But say hello to me. Hey YouTube. If you are on YouTube, do me a favor and like, okay? Give me a thumbs up over there on this video. Well, hey, you are early. How are you, Andre? What's going on with you today? How's your week been since I last saw you guys? I told you guys I was going to pop up for a little bit on Friday. And that's exactly what I did. I got in and got out. Okay. I was waiting for my ride so we could leave. And I said, well, you know what? Why not come here and talk to the people? How's it going? It's so many things that I would love to discuss, but hold on one second. Okay. So many different things that I want to discuss or that I saw, but then who knows? You know how we do. We let go and let flow. So it will be a conversation depending upon how you be. Okay. Um, it's been good so far. That is amazing. Okay. Can you believe that we are about to be in August? I mean, so far we are midway through the year. How has these last 7 months been for you guys? I want to know, how has these last 7 months been for you guys? It's almost over. I know somewhere along the line somebody was probably thinking, "Oh my goodness, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I didn't think I would make it." And I am here to tell you, look, we're making it, okay? We are making it together. I'm so glad that we started on time. I always say, I'm not going to be here with y'all long, but we already know y'all will have me on here long. Um but outside of that, what's going on, good people? Hey, Benita, how are you? It's been a struggle, baby. Listen, who are you telling? You know, I'm big on words. Yeah, I'm big on words. Let's say, can we say it's been a challenge? It's been a challenge. So I've been doing I had some really good fun doing the celebrating and just getting things back in order and just seeing what it is that I would like to do and just still I'm still relishing in the moment, right? I deserve that, right? I earned it, right? I'd like to think I earned it. um so I'm still going to be celebrating and doing everything that I want to do until I no longer want to do it or until I get the stop button, okay? But oh my goodness, I did some lovely things over the weekend and things like that on the actual anniversary day, okay? Um, I went to the African American Museum in DC. Yes, I did. Oh my goodness, I'm going to have to go back because I didn't complete it. We didn't complete everything. So I'm also in the process of getting everything together for you guys from going there. I'm super excited about that. I'll be putting some unreleased stuff on Patreon. I'm super excited about that. Uh, and did you guys listen? Did you guys go ahead and get 8 people to subscribe to the YouTube channel? Okay. Did we do that? Or follow us on Instagram and stuff? Did we do that? Because I feel like we ain't do that. I definitely seen the numbers move though. So shout outs to those who did and also to me, child, because y'all know I was out here this weekend like, hey, follow me here, follow me here, follow me here, do this, do that, do this. Although I was putting everybody on like Instagram. Guilty. I was putting everybody on Instagram. So um but guess what? At least I did it though, right? At least I did it. Hold on, because she is loud. She is super loud. Okay. There's this wine that somebody wants me to try. I was gonna try it here with you guys tonight so you guys could get my full live reaction. Um, but I came in here with up the cups and the glasses and stuff. And I like to do my research. You know, people be pawning their projects over, but that's a whole nother thing. Um, Yes, Benita girl, tell them follow on all platforms, okay? So say hello when you get in here. I see you guys out there. But yeah, so I went to the African American Museum. So much to cover. I didn't even get to see everything, but I learned a lot. And it was a very emotional thing for me, as far as like just the annoyance of some of the stuff of just seeing how people really will dislike you because of the color of your skin. And then, learning all of the things that they taught us in school and growing up, right? To only unlearn them, right? Bad enough, you have to unlearn the behaviors and the patterns that you adapted growing up and just having your own struggle, right? So now you have to unlearn what you were taught, and now you have to unlearn what you were taught in school. So it's like, oh my goodness. So that was really fun. I'm definitely going to go back. I want to go back while it's still warm because I love Emmett Till. Fun fact, I love Emmett Till. And it's funny because my nephew was like, but you don't even know him. But I'm like, I just love Emmett Till. Um, I just do. I just do. It's a horrible story, but it's some people that I'm like, I like them. So I didn't get to see his exhibit and all of that stuff. And I know that it's probably not the real casket, but I'm gonna go and I'm gonna see. But I did, y'all. Let me see, listen. Um, Oh, and then I have this video I want y'all to listen to. And for those who are into the power for the people, you may be a little triggered. But I want to, that's why I say, let's challenge the way we think today. Celebrate good times. Come on. Yes. Hey, Henry. Celebrate good times. Come on. Hey, let's celebrate. Oh, okay. Shout out to Handy Mandy. But just reading and learning, how culture always made it seem like just only black people were getting lynched, to learn that it was a lot of white people who got lynched. And then, fun fact, y'all know how I be feeling about, the other languages saying the N-word. But after I went through that exhibit and seeing that all these black people were in Mexico and all these black people were in Puerto Rico and New Zealand and all these places, like they're living, okay. I'm like, well, damn, they left that out of history in school. You know what I mean? Or either that or maybe I wasn't paying attention. But if you went to school, you could tell me if they taught it in your school. And then, what I've always found to be interesting, what I did, there's a pattern. And you guys tell me what you think. Oh, you know what? Oh, should I open up the lines tonight? I guess I can open up the lines tonight. There is a pattern, you guys. And the one thing, okay, so let's see. Look, all the scholars in the building. Can you guys tell me, if you're like into history and all of that, right? What is like one of the biggest patterns that you see throughout history, all the way back to like the 1400s? Because I noticed that just by being there. So if you paid attention to school, I'm going to open up the lines. If you pay attention in school. But you guys, this was so interesting, and I can't wait to share all of the things with y'all because, oh my goodness. And shout outs to everybody. If you sent, it's still not late. We still celebrating. Shout outs. Thank you to everybody who sent donations in through the website. I truly appreciate you. If you have reward points because you may have purchased something or did something through the website, just to let you know, those points are good for a year and they do expire. I'm going to be sending out an email momentarily. Look, momentarily, aka before the end of July, so you guys can know hey, when your points are going to expire and stuff like that. But if you're in school and I want you, or you paid attention to school, what is the one thing that seems to be like consistent throughout history? And I feel like that it causes issues today, right? I'm gonna give you a little bit to tell me and then I'll tell y'all. But being in the museum, there was so much. And I really looked at a lot of things and I was in there and I was like, dang, I really wish that I liked school more to pay attention. Because fun fact, I love learning, don't get me wrong, but I love learning about the things that interest me. I'm sorry, don't judge me, judge your mother. That's just how I work, okay? I like learning about the things that interest me. Um, you know, but tell me what you guys think the one thing is like in history that constantly is pushed, right? So it's because I'm going to tell y'all what I noticed. But I'm not going to lie. And when we were out, when we had this conversation at the table, me and my friends, and I asked them, I was like, okay, so now after we learned, because I pay attention and stuff. And y'all, I sat there, I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I sat there. I mean, they had to come and get me because I was sitting there reading every single thing, right? Every little thing, I was reading it. Um, but I didn't even know. Now I know that they had shackles. Okay, I'm all over the place, but I knew they had shackles for people, right? But I'm like, what would possess you to have shackles for a baby? And don't get me wrong, I have pictures of some things I want to show you guys, but I didn't really get everything because I was so indulged in the moment. I was taken back, and I don't even know if anybody is born this little, right? But there were shackles that was like this big. I'm not lying. They were like this big. And I'm like, you truly had to be, no judgment, Lord, and I'm not judging, but just this is how it is. I'm like, you truly had to be some type of something to think that you had to put shackles on a newborn baby. Like, where the hell is the baby gonna go? That's where my mind is. You know what I'm saying? Hi, Brandon. How are you? How have you been? You guys, make sure you share the show, you guys, and engage in the conversation tonight because we're going to challenge all of our thinking and get straight into it. And I was like, dang, you really had to do these things, right? But you know how they always say, Christopher Columbus didn't discover America, it was painted this way, and all of that. Yes, history repeats itself. History definitely repeats itself, Sonera. I know we do have like the modern day slavery, but I don't, you don't want to speak too soon, but in Jesus' name, I don't believe that we'll go back to being able to be put in shackles and they will go back to being able to um, whip us and do all that stuff, do all that other stuff. Do I think that history repeats itself? Absolutely. And it's done in different formats. Absolutely. Because me and one of my friends, when we were talking, when we were driving down there, I was just saying to her, I was like, I don't really think that it's because if you look at what's going on right around the world, it seems like that the Caucasians are now becoming the minority, right? It seems like every other race is taking over. So I feel like it would definitely be difficult to try to yoke us up and put us on boats and throw us everywhere and beat us. Like I don't foresee that. I really don't foresee that happening. But when you say but, that means some bullshit coming. But we do have a lot of what they used to call the ones that would tell on the people back in the day. We do have a lot of people who will probably, and I only say that because not everybody boycotted Target and all those other places, right? That had these boycotts and stuff. I do believe that we do have a great deal of the Negro population that would be like, I'm not joining it. I'm not joining it. I'm going here. I'm still going here. And I did see something a while ago that said, black people don't like to be inconvenienced. Do you think that's true? Let's get into it. We like to have these conversations. I put the link down below if you want to call in on the show tonight. You can call in. But I saw something a while ago that said black people don't like to be inconvenienced, and that's why when there are the boycotts going on and different things like that, it lasts for a moment and then it goes away because they say that after a while we don't like to go the extra mile. We always like everything to be convenient and handed to us. As far as, well, if we're boycotting the store that's next 5 minutes from your house and the next one that you can go to that's not being boycotted is about 30 minutes up the road, they're like, black people are not going to take that 30-minute drive. I disagree. I think some will, but probably the vast majority may not, because you do have those people that I remember doing the boycott of the Targets and stuff like that. I was having conversations and just different people were speaking to me and they were saying, I'm not doing all that. I'm not doing all that. I'm going to go right here. Or Walmart ain't never did nothing to me. Target ain't never did nothing to me. So there is a lot of that. So come on, you guys, let's really delve into it. She said, I've been busy, good, hard working, trying out some new recipes. Oh, that's awesome. I've been well. I'm up here just still celebrating the anniversary and doing some recap and letting you guys know what I did. Okay. Okay. And I'm gonna add you to the stage in a few minutes. Give me one moment. I do see, look, I love when y'all utilize that calling button. And then Tremenda said, them Babel Shack was where to manipulate the minds of the slaves. Yeah. So do you think that they actually put them on the babies though? Because I feel like they were extremely too small, right? So, here we are today with a lot of the things that are going on today. What I did learn when I was walking in that museum and reading, I learned that we as Black people are so goddamn talented. I saw how intimidating um they were, and I know that they had to instill like fear and all of that, and I was like, because I think it took us all the way down to the basement to like 1400 or something, and I was like, man, I wish that we knew, like, we could have, it was more of us than them. And just with anything, right, you're going to lose some. There is going to be a victim in some sort. But I definitely saw how and started to have a better understanding as to how some people are affected, in the midst of a change happening, and you just have to understand and believe that it's all for the greater good. You get what I mean? And just seeing, I was like, man, if or everybody, like, it was hundreds and thousands upon thousands of slaves that were going on these boats. It was like, I know some of y'all would have had to take a couple bullets. I know somebody would have got away. Well, we could have really like wreaked havoc and took over and killed them for real. Just like by reading everything. And then, you did have, now this is just my perception of it, you do have Africans, other Africans, um, of color, Black, that did sell slaves into slavery. Totally understand that. But just by reading, with the history and how it was done about, it definitely gives they were manipulated to do it. You know what I mean? Like, they were manipulated to do it. And it's just like, okay, the trade went from being selling metal, right? Goods. It went from doing goods, metals and silver and gold, to trading people, And then when I learned, and like they say, Christopher Columbus discovered America, but Christopher Columbus came to America to for the Asian spice trade. So in my mind, I'm going to add you to the studio. So in my mind, right? Let me see. As soon as I finish this thought, and so in my mind, right? You you wasn't even here for people. You was here to get you some herbs and some garlic powder, right? But he came and then saw his way of, let's do this and get the hard work and the hard labor. So if you look at the facts from in this museum to the degree, it seems like Christopher Columbus is the one who started all of this slavery stuff, right? But what I noticed with that pattern, and throughout history, was they used religion. And it gives me a better understanding as to why so many people today are very weary of religion, because they used religion to manipulate. Like, they were literally there killing people who did not want to be Christians. They went and killed Muslims, Jews. Like, it was just a mess. And then I seen where this one, he adopted this slave. I don't know the name. It was a long name, right? I don't know the name. But when he did that, right, he made him become a Christian. So it was like he adopted this little Black man, let him learn, right, treated him well, but all the while doing so, you had to be a Christian. And the man who adopted him was a minister. So then it's like you have ministers who are supposed to be, under God, one nation forever. God is love, light, and all thereof, right? But you are purchasing slaves. Now, I guess maybe the minister in him is why he let the slave learn, but and gave him like little freedom papers. But at the same time, he still kept him a slave and made him turn into a Christian. So that's the one pattern that I noticed throughout all the learning that I did on Friday was religion was heavily used to control. Well, hey, how you doing, caller?
Hi, good evening. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing this evening? Thanks for joining me.
You're welcome. I'm doing well, thank you.
So, what's your thoughts?
Um, like I said, it seems like history just tends to repeat itself.
Hmm.
Um, if you look at how things are being done now, it's to me the goal is to mainly just simply keep us down, to keep us from getting ahead. And the moment we think we've gotten ahead or we're getting some kind of leeway on things, there's always something to knock us backwards. Just
Yeah.
like and we, as always, you think about it, our race has always been a threat to others,
Okay.
and they seem like they are losing traction, for lack of better words. They seem like they're losing traction because we do have so many immigrants coming here, and the immigrants are they're multiplying at
Yeah.
fast rates. And so it's like it's almost like they're losing control of things. So the only way they can seem um, to get ahead is through the government, is through their laws. So again, you're in a situation where they're going to try to use laws to try to control the population
Yeah.
to keep
Yeah.
themselves
Yeah.
ahead of the
Because
game.
it's I because it's like it definitely came across that way. Like I think for like public school, right? It was saying that in order for a child to get what was it? To finish elementary school, it said that it would take a black child 33 years to finish elementary school, right? And it's
Hmm.
like, what? But there is this book. It's called. I think it's. I don't want to say it's called the Book of Negroes, but it's the Negro Book something, right? It's probably in my footage, and it showed how it shows you 60 years after slavery and how 60 years after slavery we were progressing. Like within that first part, I think we had made like 10 million or something like that. And then by I guess like 30 years after that, it was at I believe it was 2 billion. And once we reached there, it was like that's when all of these other things started to come into place because we were excelling, right? And then even when
Hmm.
it came to it with the black people who were living in Puerto Rico and things like that, they were going there to do the farming, to come and get the vegetables and the fruits and all of that stuff. And, we were thriving outside of their system. And it definitely seems you know, like you said, they come back with a different law, and like I said today, I mean, even that day, I was like, man, here we are in 2026. Why are we still not even considered but so much of a human in the Constitution? Like who is
Hmm.
going to challenge and rewrite this Constitution? Like that shouldn't even be okay being in there, being as though that we have evolved, but at the same time, it's really a huge indicator that lets you know, like, no, we ain't really have we really evolved?
To a certain extent.
Okay. And what extent
To
is
a
that?
certain extent. Um, I will say, I mean, educational wise, we're able to we're able to get in universities and stuff because thankfully we do have our own.
Yeah.
Um, however, we still have to fight the hurdle of funding. You know, that's one thing. I don't even consider, I don't even, even though we excel in sports, but I'm not even gonna look at that because a lot of the teams and stuff they're owned by who, you
Yeah.
know. So either way, you still kind of a, for
In the
lack of
system.
better, you still a slave. You know what I'm saying? You still one to them. Um, you're still making money for them.
Yeah.
Um, government wise, we made a few steps.
Yeah.
We did, you know, we had a
So
black president, black vice.
yeah, Tremaine said Jim Crow laws were implemented.
Yeah, there was, they were, but it's just it's just a thing of the only way we're gonna seem to get ahead.
Hmm.
One is through unity. That's one thing. Some of us have that crab in a barrel mentality. We, I mean, you think about it back then, they may have disagreed with policy and diplomacy and the way they handled things, but yet still there was still unity.
Yeah.
Nowadays, we don't have the unity, like you said. You know, like let's say for instance with the boycotts and stuff like that. People were still out during that thing. It was they boycotted some parts, and I think I'm guilty. You know, I don't go to Target no more, but you know,
Yeah.
I still shop at Walmart.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but you know, like I said, it's just not that unity that they had then because some people feel like it's really not they've
Important.
achieved. They feel like they've achieved what they want to achieve.
Yeah,
So
and this is the one thing I learned too. It's like outside of that, but just over, the last couple of months and just really like paying attention over the year, maybe that they really do own everything, that damn near everything. So it is
yeah,
kind of like you can't get away from a racist person owning something and you not wanting to use it, no matter how bad you try.
mm-mm,
Because it's like they damn near own everything, right? But I definitely feel like, ignorance is bliss, and you don't know what you don't know. But once you become aware and you do know something, I truly believe that that is when it's up to you to make the choice of what you do and how you handle it. Like
mm-hmm,
you said, you still shop at the other places, but you definitely don't shop at Target. You know,
mm-hmm,
you may have somebody else who like Teslas. The Tesla is nice. I don't want an electric car, but the Tesla is nice. But I'm like, damn, that Elon. I would feel crazy buying the Tesla. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Um,
Exactly.
so it's kind of like you stagnate yourself with what it is that you would like if you look at it from the side of, damn, they own everything. You know, um, Andre said, no, we haven't. Andre, we haven't. You don't think we haven't? Explain that, Andre. Explain that. He said he doesn't feel like we've evolved. Okay. Um,
That's why I said to a certain, you know, to a certain extent, we've achieved something, but
yeah.
still got a long way to go.
Yes, absolutely. And then here it is. It's like, with like I said, it was a lot of the stuff going on with like the religion and stuff of it all. And I was like, Dad, they use the religion to control, but then at the same time, it's like you can't believe in what you're reading or what you're understanding because God is not telling you to act like this. There was nowhere in the
Mm-mm,
Bible where God said, go ahead, take people, kill them, rape them, beat them, and make them slaves and sell people and mistreat. That was nowhere in the Bible. I think what it boils down to is like ego and control, wanting to be important. And so one of the questions that I asked, I'm gonna ask you too before I let you go. While we were out, I said, would you prefer for them to just send us on our own little island and let us do our thing only because we were thriving so much? What do you think, you guys? Would you rather be here with everybody else, or would you rather be on an island that's just nothing but black people around your people, and that way we can leave them alone? So the link is right here. I put the link right here in the bio. I can also send it to you directly. What's your answer, Sanera?
I would say
Oh, I should make a poll. I'm gonna make this a poll.
I would actually prefer to put me on an island with us.
You would prefer the island?
I would prefer the island. I really would.
Oh, tell me
Um,
why.
and I would say if I with the same because we did invent and patent a lot of things. We just didn't get the credit for it.
Uh-huh.
So with the technology and stuff that we have here, yeah, yep, sure would,
Okay. Okay.
sure would.
All right. Okay. So Sanera. All right. So I when I make this poll, you gotta go in the comments with this poll.
Oh, I am.
Oh, look, wait a minute, look, you gotta hold your answer. Andre said I wouldn't. Ah,
Yeah, I sure would. I would take it. With
you
the,
would take
like I
it.
said, yeah, with the we would have to have our own set of laws governed by us, everything by us.
Okay. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna make this a question. Like everybody saying, send me the link. Send me the link. All right, I'm putting a link in. And Scenario, you can stay right here if you want. Until other people come in, I'll just have to bring your mic down, or you can join again after. Okay.
Okay,
All
okay.
right.
I'm
Oh, I cut her off. I'm sorry. I think she was saying she's gonna rejoin. All right, so we're gonna do this a poll. Ooh, this is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be interesting. All right, we're going to do this poll. You said, "How do I send me the link?" Okay, I have to. I'm going. You want me to send you the link directly? Okay, okie dokie, Dominoki. Let's see. Let's see. All right, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to send you guys the link. Y'all always make y'all. One thing y'all gonna do is make me work for it. Work for it. Mm. But yeah, so that was something. One of the things that I saw that I thought was rather interesting. You know what I mean? And I'm also sending you the link too because you asked for it. But it was rather interesting, and I was like, damn, I really think that because I saw that we were thriving throughout America and throughout history. Is like they don't really want you to. It's like they don't really want us to surpass them. It's really it's like they're afraid. But at the end of the day, I'm sending you guys the link. But at the end of the day, I feel like not just them, but we are afraid too. It almost goes back to what we talked about a few weeks ago. Remember when we discussed and I sent you guys the link. You guys got to check your inbox for those who couldn't find it on here. um in regards to, some people don't know that they're in bondage, some people aren't aware that they're victims, some people aren't, what y'all said, some women don't know that having a whole bunch of babies and you can't take care of them, uh is something wrong with that. Some it's their normalcy. So when something is your normalcy, you don't see it as an issue. So um I definitely understand that. But let me see. I'm going to get this poll up before I add my caller to the stage. Look, y'all. This is what I gotta. Let me get this together. Okay. Well, I can add you on here. Oh, look, y'all done popped in on me two by two. Okie dokie. Let's see. Hey, Andre.
Hey,
Hi, I'm going to let you speak and then I'm going to add in Handy Mandy so that way we'll all be chit chatting. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Where do you, where do I start? Of the island? Everybody living on the island?
Yes. Why did you?
Okay.
So would you like to live on an island with nothing but black people where we are thriving and doing everything, or do you want to live amongst the mixed population?
Well, is it a guarantee that everybody gonna get along on this island? Because we can't even get along in our own community. So how
Okay.
are we gonna get along on this island without it always being some type of animosity? Because our biggest threat is ourselves. We fight
Yes.
mostly against ourselves. That's why
Yes.
everybody look at us and say there's no unity over there because they fight themselves.
Okay.
Reason why the boycott and stuff worked back in the day because it was a collective. They came together and made an impact, saying that everybody, this is what we're going to do. Imagine if everybody that took that mentality like now, or I don't want to get involved. That's too much for me. I
Hmm.
can't walk to work. It worked
Yeah.
because they came together and said, this is what we're going to do, and we all going to support it and make it happen. That's why it works.
Okay. And so do you think that it so what do you think made it work more? Is it because back in the day we were literally all we had? Our resources were limited. What we could do was limited. We couldn't
I think
always
the
get an
people,
education.
for
What do you
one, they
think?
was fed up. They was fed up.
Okay.
Enough was enough.
Hmm.
And they wanted to see the change. So in order to see the change and be part of the change, you got to come together and make it happen. You
Okay.
can't be like, oh no, I'm still going down here to Target because XYZ.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
worked because they said, no, we're not getting on that bus. We're going to walk. If you got a car, I'm going to come pick you up. We're going to let them know that our money makes a
Matter.
difference.
Okay.
But
Okay.
now we see them going to take the cop out like, no, we can't come together. No, we can't work together. You see it in jobs now. You be like, these two black women can't even work together. They
Yeah.
look at us like, what's the come on. We the own common denominator. We can't come together and make shit happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm putting up this poll. Um, yeah, because that's what that video was saying that I saw where it was like, we don't like to be inconvenienced. But I did see something. I'm gonna let you guys hear it in a few after we get Handy Mandy to see what she's gonna say. Where they were like, he was like Rosa Parks didn't really do anything. Although we know there were a lot of people before Rosa Parks, but this guy and I would like to watch this whole thing to have a better understanding of it. But then I kind of wouldn't because y'all know I don't like to watch foolishness. Um, but he was saying the reason why the original woman who actually did it, he was like, Rosa Parks, what was Rosa Parks boycotting for? Her goddamn husband had a car, right? And he was saying the reason why it was overlooked the very first time was because the woman who did it was a black woman. She was pure black, she was dark skinned, and
Mm-hmm.
he was saying that Rosa Parks, she was like black and Indian or something. She was lighter skinned. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna play that audio for you guys, and this will give you and Tremanda a better thing to say.
But that
Uh,
goes
go ahead, I'm listening.
that goes back to show you that even back then they pinned us against each other. Because like you said,
Yeah.
back then they called it the brown paper test. So they would
Yes.
put your skin up against them, to see if you pass enough to be amongst this group over here. So again, it was still division within our race. And we fell
Yes.
for it.
Yes. So you guys, I put the poll there. You can put a 1 in the chat if you prefer to be with your own, or a 2 if you prefer to be amongst the collective. Okay. Make sure you go ahead and you vote. All right. Let me let this video play, and then we'll see what you guys say. I want you guys to hear what he's saying on this video and just, give your thoughts on it, okay? And let me know if you guys can hear it. Okay, the title of the video is called The Rosa Parks Lies.
Rosa Parks thing was not, a genuine case. This was a bitch who had a husband with a car. She get a fucking car. She didn't need to be on the fucking bus. Where was she going? She wouldn't even go anywhere. And there's reporters on the bus. Like, this shit's a hoax. But the actual young woman that stopped segregated busing, ended segregated busing in Alabama, Claudette Colvin, she's forgotten because she was dark-skinned. She was raped by a black man who was having a child and was 16 years old. And the NAACP, which was not entirely founded by black people, didn't want to highlight her. So what did they go do? They highlighted the light skin, and if I'm not mistaken, mixed individual, Rosa Parks, and gave her the spotlight over the black, dark-skinned 15-year-old that was raped by a black man that they didn't want to have to explain for. The Rosa Parks thing was not.
Oh, did we hear that? Wait a minute, Andre. I'm going to add the other caller to the stage. Hello.
Hey.
Hey. So I
Oh
want
my
you guys to
God.
vote. Make sure you guys are voting on the poll, you guys. Put a 1 or 2. Come on. So did you guys all hear that video? Did you hear that video, Tremana?
I did. I heard it. The
Okay.
one thing about the whole separatism between us as one race, because we come in so many different shades, right?
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know the truth behind that, so I will have to dig into that a little more or whatever.
Okay.
The whole race, like that has always been a thing too, back from slavery, because you got to remember the darker skinned slaves were out in the field, and the lighter skinned slaves that were inside the homes, of course, were lighter. So that already just caused a big separatism between the people who are working hard and the people who in the house probably still working hard, but not as hard as the ones outside. So,
Okay.
it's simply stuff like that is a big part of what caused all of that, like flack inside our race also too. Now,
Okay.
my whole thing with Rosa Parks, the whole thing that they've always told you is one drop of black blood means you're black, right? So
Right.
no matter if she was mixed or any of that, she would have still been considered black unless she
Okay.
was passing. To my knowledge, she wasn't passing or whatever. But I hate the ignorance sometimes, because that sounds like a black guy who's telling this story, who still will try to come chop down a story of black anyway. You get what I'm saying? It's just
Mhm.
senseless to me. Because
Yeah.
even if her husband had a car, who said her husband ain't had to go to work and he couldn't take her to work? You know what I mean? What is this meaning? Because her husband had a car. What does that mean? She still could have been a part of, the whole fight. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get on a bus. Yes, I'm not gonna stand up to give my seat up. Like, I still don't get what's the difference. If
Uh-huh.
she's still, even if now, and I do hate, and I know they do definitely send in lower incels of people sometimes to do things or whatever. But if she still was the part of a fight that helped push us forward, what's the sense of the story? What's the
Mm.
sense? Seriously, what's the sense? Now, I don't know about this whole cover up because she was raped by a black man. I'm still trying to figure out,
Well, that was
what
not
does
Rosa
that have
Parks. He
to,
was talking about the other lady.
who's the other lady?
The other lady who
Right,
it
he
was.
said that was the original person who I guess
I'm about to
didn't
tell you
give
right
a
now.
seat up for the bus.
She had a husband with a
I'm
car.
about to tell you exactly what he
She
said.
get a fucking car. She
Well, he
didn't
could
have to
tell
be
you
on
what
the
he
fucking
said.
bus. Where was she going? She wouldn't even go anywhere. And there's reporters on the bus. Like, this shit's a hoax. But the actual young woman that stopped segregated busing, ended segregated busing in Alabama, Claudette Colvin, she's forgotten because she was dark-skinned.
Claudette
She
Colvin.
was raped by a
Okay, so he's saying that she is the one who stopped segregated busing or whatever. But how? How did she stop the segregated busing? He never explained in that part of the story. If you want to tell
Well,
our
you know
story,
what
tell
they
the
tell you,
story.
child. They said you got to go watch the whole interview. And you
Well,
know I ain't
Yeah,
he's
gonna
I'm
do
gonna
basically
that.
have to
saying
do that. I'm gonna
he's
have to do that because,
he
yeah.
was basically saying that she gave up her seat before
Matter of
Rosa
fact, we
did
gonna
it. But
Google
then
it.
when Rosa did it, it was more publicity
Publicity.
put behind
Yeah.
it. So that's what it got
Right.
hyped up more.
Right.
So if you come out with something, a design today, and I turn around and come out with one next week, but I get more hype behind mine and act like I was the first one to come out with it. Basically, that's what they were trying to say. That
Oh,
they
look,
pushed the story
I
with
found,
her.
look, so y'all know we like to do our own research here. Make sure you guys are voting. Put a 1 or 2. Come on. I see all of y'all right there watching. Put a 1 or 2. So it says that key individuals and actions. It says Claudette Colvin at the age of 15 was arrested on March 2nd, 1955 in Montgomery, Alabama for refusing to give her seat up to a white woman on a segregated bus. She was one of 4 plaintiffs in a federal case, Browder and Gale, filed in February 1956 by civil rights attorney Fred Gray. This case challenged Alabama's bus segregation laws, and in June 1956, a federal court ruled them unconstitutional. The U.S. Supreme Court upheld that decision in November of 1956. Then it says on December 1st of 1955, same year, you guys, same year, it says Parks, a respected member of the local NAACP chapter, refused to surrender her seat to a white passenger. Her arrest sparked Montgomery's bus boycott, a 13-month mass protest coordinated by the Montgomery Improvement Association and led by Martin Luther King Jr. The boycott supported the Women's Political Council and the organization's pressure the city and state into ending bus segregation. So here's what's interesting to me. Did any of y'all know who Claudette Colvin was? I know I didn't, right?
I did.
Okay. And I didn't know who she was. But if we're looking at what's written right here, well, wait a minute before I go there. So, of course, you know, when it goes to anything, like they said with Rosa Parks, she was in the NAACP. So if she did something, it was going to be an issue that was going to get some movement. Really, it's no different from what we see today from these brands, right? And you know how it is. Nobody want to rock with your movement until it look like it's moving, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you get the right influencer, you get the right celebrity to
Mm-hmm.
put their face on a product. Jermaine, you voted in the chat on the thing and put their name, their face on a product. And next thing you know, everybody is going to go buy this product. So if what we read correctly, it seems like that's what happened with bus segregation. It seems like Claudette Colvin, it seems like she was responsible for it ending in Alabama, right? Is that what y'all got out of that? And Rosa Parks is what had the big movement in Montgomery. But it says the boycott ended because, okay, so here we go. We're going back to what they talk about. So this is back to the Broder versus Gale. It says the boycott ended on December 20th, 1956, when the U.S. Supreme Court ruling the Broder and Gale declared Alabama's bus segregation laws unconstitutional. The decision was invalidated segregation on public transportation nationwide. Okay. So prior to this young lady, earlier activists like Elizabeth Jennings Graham in 1854 and Charlotte Brown in 1863 challenged segregation on buses and streetcars. And the Women's Political Council in Montgomery had already pushed for integration before Parks was arrested. So I do remember throughout time, right? Do y'all remember that? It seemed like, and y'all don't like him, but Tyler Perry even talked about it in one of his movies. I forget which one. Where he did it in his play when they was like, yeah, Rosa Parks did this, and he was like, man, you know how Rosa ain't do nothing. But I do remember in one of his plays, he said it was a lot of people who came way before Rosa. But Rosa was able to, got the most recognition because she was a part of the NAACP. So I do remember Tyler Perry saying something like that in one of his plays when he was coming out and stuff like that. But with this right here, Even with history, how we were taught Christopher Columbus discovered America, whoop de woo. And then the museum is like, hold on, that man went to America to do this Asian spice trade. And he's the one, they even said he even brought diseases with him. It seemed like Christopher Columbus was responsible for a whole lot of stuff, homosexuality, a lot of things in this museum. Am I lying, Handy Mandy? It seemed like he was responsible for a lot of things, the start of a lot of things. But in school, right, we only really heard about all the main characters. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman. You know what I mean? Or maybe it could have just been my school, but it seemed like when February came, it was almost like it was about good 5 that got acknowledged for Black History Month. We never discussed Elizabeth Jennings. You know what I mean?
Right.
Claudette Colvin, never even discussed these people. So I feel like that even with that even causes tension, right? Because for somebody who didn't know, someone may say, no, Rosa Parks didn't do this. It was such and such. And then the next person may be like, yes, she did. Yes, she did. She the only one. But if that's what you were taught in school, you would think that she was the only one, right?
Right, exactly.
So even throughout that, maybe that too is what contributes to some of the friction today between us. What's your thoughts? Put me back in. You still here? You never left. Let me see. Hello?
Oh yeah, I had clicked off by mistake trying to figure this thing out, but
Oh no, it's okay.
okay, but yeah.
So let's get into it, because at the end of the day, I feel like we are phenomenal, just learning that and seeing. I wish I would have paid, been more into school. I really feel like all of us, everybody that looks like us, need to go to that museum, go through all of it. But I feel like you need to look at the education part. So maybe that would also stop us from dropping out of school, from not finishing it. Like, really seeing how, they really didn't want us to learn at one point. So you should be trying to learn all that you can learn.
I think you also need to go outside of just the education that you are taught in school, because literally you do find out that everything you almost taught was a lie anyway. But, I think that, like when you start educating your children or just educating people that you talk to, I think just put out as much information as you know. You just bring up information or, like conversations that mean something, that are important sometimes. You know what I mean? Those are good conversations to have, topic conversations about and stuff like that. But that museum definitely was a very touching place to go. I think that it definitely informs you of a lot. If it definitely lets you see a lot, makes you respect things. And I do believe that, like I was listening to when, earlier in the conversation when you were saying, like about us living on an island by ourselves or, amongst, I could do either or, but I do believe that we also fall under the big impression of brainwash, like period. Because if the most of the times they always letting the world feel and know that we are the common enemy almost, and we are dangerous, we are this, we are that. And of course this stuff do exist, but this exists in every race of folks.
Yeah,
it exists in every race of folks. And if we always keep intaking this information like we are the troublemakers, we don't want to be amongst each other because maybe where we are, like I feel like the stuff I've been surrounded by the majority of my life, I can't say the majority of it is like positive stuff, but it is still a lot of positive stuff there.
okay.
And I think that we be falling under the impression that it's all that exists. You know what I mean? It's the stuff we've been surrounded by, which I believe is a lie. I believe it's a lie. And I believe that if they would be pushing all of this information like they do about us, about every other race of people, we would not be looked at, because their numbers are going to always outsmoke us. We just think that because that's all we hear all day. That's what we know because where we at. You know what I mean? If you go somewhere else around some prominent Black people, all of this stuff that you probably surrounded by would never probably be happening. You know what I mean? So I just think it's who we feel like we surrounded by all the time, which I do believe still is over exaggerated because it's not like every person you know is a criminal. Every person you know has bad intentions. Every person you know is going to be stuck on nonsense. That's not true. You
Yeah.
know, and I do
But
believe that if we were surrounded by more people doing good things, because I think, you know, people would probably would get better on another page if they seen that we are trying to grow something. It's hard to try to make, you know, people get on the right page when all of this ignorance is pushed out here all day. It's ignorance pushed in every genre of everything.
Yeah.
But how do we rewrite the narrative? Because even back in the day, every time a crime was committed, the first person they went looking for a community was a Black man. So
Right,
many
but it's
Black
hard
brothers
to
got
rewrite it.
but so many Black brothers got blamed for crimes that they did not commit. And
Yes.
it did not stop. It still happens today. And sometimes even have again our own race to keep blaming the Black man, the Black
But
child.
that's a
When news
part of
come
the
on,
problem though. We
but I'm
should
saying,
never be doing that to each other. Like if we
and
already
that's
got
the
them
thing.
doing that, why are we doing it too?
That's the thing. We give them nothing but what they want to see. When the news come on, it's look at the Blacks, look at the Blacks, look at the Blacks.
But why
That's
do you feel like that's us giving them? Because do you know that they are probably
because
having more crime
we're
than we
still
do?
we're still destroying
Yeah.
our own community.
It's a
We're
narrative. If you
still
want to join the
doing
conversation again, you can, but you guys go ahead and make your votes. I'm sorry, I wasn't cutting y'all off. Y'all can still talk, but go ahead and put your vote. Put a 1 in the chat or 2. Oh, yeah, you did it already. Put a
we're
1 in the
still out
chat
here
or
destroying
2.
our own community.
Mhm.
Nobody else has to
And that
do it
is
for us.
true.
We're doing it ourselves. And that's why they sit
But
back
they
and let like we don't have to go in and infiltrate. They're going to do it themselves. They're going
Yeah.
to tear down. That's
right,
why these
but I
walls
mean
are
like
leaving because we came in and
if
made it this away.
we didn't come and make nothing no way.
No,
We didn't
we
do
came.
that. Now that's
No,
not true.
some of the
Oh,
crime that's going
sugar
on.
now.
Look, sometimes you got to own the bullshit. Some of the crime
No,
that's going on,
let's own it. Let's
we made
own
it
it.
that away. We made it that away. Sometimes you got to own up to some of the bullshit,
Okay, so
right
what
or
do you
wrong.
mean? And
I mean,
like we made what way? I need some specifics.
Hey, CJ.
some of the crime
Oh,
that's
yo,
going
they
on in
getting
the
something. They
city.
shaking the table. Andre done shook the
No,
table.
some of the crime that's going on
No,
in the
I love this
city.
conversation,
That's
Andre.
been
Yeah.
think about it. Most of the shootings that's going on in Baltimore are committed by who? The
Us.
Us.
speaker. Okay, thank you.
But wait
By
a minute,
us.
it's a lot
And I'm
of
not
this.
saying,
You got to remember that it is more than just Black areas in Baltimore City.
oh,
You have
definitely,
whole South Baltimore that is
definitely,
full of white people that's doing the same crimes Black people doing. You go
exactly.
past in South Baltimore, you're gonna see them
Ex-
same junkies laying
but
like you're gonna see them
but
Black ones.
who do they portray on TV to
Us.
sell the
But guess
narrative?
what?
Thank you.
Why
But
is that
they're
though?
selling
You
because they
still
gotta
got to be
sell.
looking at their pushing the
They
narrative
got
of
to
that, not
sell the
us.
narrative. No, the narrative they're gonna
Right.
sell when the news come on is us.
Yes,
It's
but
us.
that's the part that you got to be looking at. So our
CJ
control of the
said,
narrative that they pushing, they
CJ
pushing that,
said that
not us.
it was way deeper than that. So CJ, what do
Yes,
you
because
mean by it was way deeper than that? Let's
they
explain, or we can
flooded
always
these
dive
areas with
into it.
drugs. They
Yes,
the
I
ones
agree
that
with
came
that.
and flooded it. They
Yes, it
flooded
was
the inner cities
yes,
with drugs. They did that.
exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
so
It
when
broke
they
up
came and did that, they didn't even make it an epidemic until their kids start getting
thank
strung out
you.
on these drugs. Okay,
Exactly.
but see, that's
Why?
the
Because
craziness, though.
originally it was always called the white man drug because they thought only white folks would be able to afford it.
Yes, but they flooded our cities with
Yes.
heroin and all
And
of
what did
those
it do?
drugs like that.
It started breaking up homes. A
Yes.
lot of
I
black people
mean,
started
when
getting
y'all even look
incarcerated.
at
Like,
certain
yeah,
stuff,
I
it
agree
doesn't
with
even
that.
make sense.
Right.
It doesn't, some of it doesn't make sense, but I'm just saying, you know, like when we start tearing down each other, it's a problem because the
Yes.
same problems that we have in our inner cities, they have those same problems.
Yes.
Seriously, like you could.
100%.
I remember on TV they was having those shows where the famous people be strung out on drugs and they go to rehab. I can't remember the name of the show,
Mm-hmm.
but they used to go to rehab. Some people was having issues with money.
Yes.
With money, the money wasn't saving them from being a dirty, rotten
At
scoundrel.
all. At all.
You know what I mean? So, the impression is to always make us. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
We can't always be against each other or thinking that,
Exactly.
if we all were in one community together, we might go survive and make that bad boy work. And it's a whole lot of what they call YNs and all of that out here. Maybe you could get them together or whatever, but I
Right.
think that, we be under the wrong impression though. I do. I think that
Exactly.
they done brainwashed us too much.
Yes. To be
And
against
So
each
here
other
we
and not
go,
right.
right? So here we are. So what I'm going to do, you guys, I am going to I did locate some video just for you guys to see the numbers. It's the Negro Yearbook. Okay. So I'm going to add that to the stage. Okay. I wonder if I wish I could make it a little bigger. Oops, not I made me bigger, child. Get out of here. Um, child. But so this is that. Can you guys
Andre, come on over here to the black side. We living in the same neighborhood.
Of course. Yeah, baby. Project
I'm
Andre
just
Rain.
messing
said
with
I've
you,
been
Andre.
here, okay? And still
Andre
here.
said no, he
Yeah.
ain't doing it. So if you look at this, if you guys look at this really quickly, right? This is the Negro book. So this is what I was telling you guys about when it was saying that we were 100 times, I'm making it bigger. We were 100 times more wealthy in 60 years as a people. So
Because, like, seriously, I'm
this
sorry,
was from
Candy.
18 this was from 1866 to 1926, right?
Mm-hmm.
So economic progress in 1806, 12,000 people owned homes.
Mm-hmm.
Farm operated was 20,000. Something conducted. I can't even see it. I gotta make it bigger. Wealth accumulated was like 20,000.
Mm-hmm.
By 1926, we were at wealth that was accumulated was over 2 million.
Mm-hmm.
We had 700,000 homeowners, 100,000 farms.
Yeah.
Let me pull up it in my phone so I can see it. Because you know how it'd be somebody in the back saying, "Oh, she can't read." You know how y'all do. But it's so small on this screen.
But see,
Okay.
the one thing they be trying to make us think too is that we
Oh,
can't
business is
thrive
conducted. That's
alone.
what
Like
it
we
was.
can.
So
We
this one
can.
right here is business is conducted. I believe that's what that one is. Let's see. Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. Go ahead. You can talk till I get this
No,
thing
but
together.
I think that they make us think that we can't thrive. But see, what we realize, which we do, because just like y'all was saying with the whole Target thing and boycott and stuff like that, our dollar is necessary for them to survive, to be honest.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah,
dollar is necessary for them to survive. They don't know how to survive without money. We do. And the only reason that they would go in and drown and burn down these towns that did get successful because they need our money.
Mm-hmm.
They need our money, okay? To survive, not nothing else, or they'd have left us alone. No town would have been burnt down. Why would you want to burn down a town and you want to be separate at the same time? Makes zero sense or whatever.
exactly.
But it's all lies. Like, but that's all the lies that's pushed. It's like mental warfare or something. You know what I mean? So all of it's crazy.
So it's showing. So that actually is business is conducted. So these, I'm gonna press play. This is the number. These are the numbers, from churches and all of that. So we this is what I was trying to tell you guys, that between 1866 and 1926, the wealth of the race reaches large proportions.
And
We
then they
from
come
in 1866, we were at 20 million. By 1926, we was at $2 billion.
and then they came with Jim Crow.
They came with Jim Crow because they wasn't
and,
going to have that.
and stole
You
the
know,
property. People, like you said, people were homeowners, and they
right.
literally took the land from them. In
They
one
were
case, the
senators and
family, like
everything.
the family was awarded their family property back, but they realized it was stolen.
So it
Literally.
also says, so right here in this article is also saying that, when we had our own newspapers and things like that, it's saying that these statistics were being used to boost the morale of Black people during difficult times. So even
Mhm.
if you felt like you couldn't do it, even if we felt like it wasn't even getting any better, just how when we go through things today in life, right? You got to take it one step at a time. You can't see the forest through the trees. Um, Sanara says she feels like we evolved. Andre feels like we haven't. But right here, it's letting you know that this was used, these numbers were used for us to continue to be encouraged to keep on going, because we made $2 billion. And this is 60 years after slavery.
And I mean, if
So
you even had to count the kind of money that Black people bring in now, and not just us, just races, like color people, period. It's
right,
outrageous. It's going to be outrageous numbers. You get what I'm saying? That is why it's so much stuff pushed today, though, because they need us all to stay separate. If we
Yeah.
all be amongst each other, we will crack that whole system down. They
yeah,
don't want that system
yeah,
cracked. That's why they keep all of this craziness. That's why I be hating some of this stuff that they do push, because they be trying to dumb us down, like
exactly.
seriously.
But
They
think
dumb
about
down food, they dumb
yeah,
down music, they
yeah,
dumb down everything. And it be like we do fall into it, but when you be living
there
in
you go.
ignorance, that's
Yeah,
that's just what it is. You got to get out of the ignorant state of mind, but it's hard when they making you feel like this is your education and this is these things. You got to go outside of that. When you start knowing that you've been pushed lies, that's all you got to know. You're going to have the Google work. We got cell phones. You can teach your damn self today.
So here we are. This is another part that's in the book. And this, ignorance is bliss, and you don't know what you don't know. But
Yeah.
before we get into that, CJ said we didn't impoverish ourselves. We didn't place ourselves in projects, and we didn't short ourselves of resources. Well, you know what? I feel like we didn't, but here's the thing. I feel like when it comes to the project thing, there may be a little teeter-totter, because I know when I told you guys that I went to the in Hampton to the historic plantation that's in Baltimore, out in the Towson area, where
hmm
Grantley, the slave over Grantley, he owned over 42,000 acres of land. He was like one of the one slave owners that freaking owned damn near half of freaking Maryland, just about, right? And that's a lot of land for one man, okay? Um, but a lot of his slaves, we needed places to live. We didn't have much. They went and built Perkins and Flag and all of those projects that are down
and for who?
on the east side of Baltimore,
And
right?
who lived there? Who lived there?
Yeah, so that's where a lot of the slaves and everything lived. So my for the things that they built. So, but my thing is, when we say, we didn't put ourselves in projects, but it's almost like if we had to build places for us to live, can we say they put us in projects, or were we just
Yeah, because they
doing what we needed to
separated
do?
everybody. You forgetting redlining.
hmm
Okay.
Redlining. They
Thank
wouldn't
you.
even let Black people buy houses in certain parts of town. You
Right.
forgetting people went to war, white and Black, because they
hmm
was letting Black people go to war because they didn't have enough white people to fight. But when they all came home, they gave money to those white people to buy a home. Black
Yeah.
people didn't get the same money fighting the same war.
hmm
And then they had a nerve to red line where you Black can't even buy, even if you had the money in that part of town.
But
You
then
couldn't
guess
even
what?
buy the house.
They grouped
Okay.
us and gave us
Hey,
limited
hey, hey, I'm just
resources.
making the convo interesting. Don't shoot me.
But it's crazy though. But this is just showing you like how really they separated. Why would they
Yeah.
build projects for make you build the projects that you're going to be forced to live in?
Mhm.
And I'm gonna
Make it
put you
make
somewhere where
sense.
you got limited resources.
Thank you.
limited
Because they making you
resources.
live on one. If they put all of y'all on one side of town, you know how easy that is to block
Exactly.
everything from coming there.
And we weren't allowed up
But
in certain areas of the city. You were not allowed to
yes,
go to bed and shop. No, you were limited to little mom and pop shops around the way.
come on, these people keep always implementing stuff. I'm sorry. Like when you be
Yes,
looking at all of it, when Hurricane Katrina happened, they was calling the people, the black people, okay, freaking immigrants or something.
right.
Like, come on, make this make sense in the 2000s.
And
Okay.
again, who was plastered across the TV screen?
Yes.
All the
And I
black people
guarantee
down
you,
there.
some people went and bought all of that property up
Thank you.
down in New Orleans right
You know
now.
it. Yep. And we'll
And you
rebuild
know who's
So
gonna
those
live
out in
CJ
their
there?
front.
Them
said,
rich white people.
so CJ said they have worse issues than us, but we will get the highlight because they have to uphold the narrative that we're
But
animals.
they said
Are
that is the truth. Facts.
Yep.
Facts. They gotta keep up with the narrative. That's why you constantly seeing it. I mean, come on, like
Yep.
if you even look at the numbers, some stuff you don't even have to delve into and it don't make sense. That's all you need to know. If
Right.
we supposed to be the minority and there's so many more of them than us, when you start bringing up statistics of shootings and all of that stuff, you're not hearing
Mm-hmm.
them talk about them shootings that be happening in them with
Nope.
them.
Nope.
They gonna bring it up in the inner city all day. You
Yep.
ain't heard or somebody in the county that stabbed up his wife and all of this crazy
Exactly.
mess that
Yep.
happened in the household. They ain't even put that on TV at all.
Nope.
At
It's mostly
all. But they
overlooked.
So here you have right here, these are this is the beginning with 1885 and a consecutive record of the lynchings that have been kept. And of course, we know that some of these numbers are probably not all accurate, but
Of
it
course.
wasn't like you didn't even they didn't even tell you that white people got lynched. They made it
Right.
seem like it was just a black thing. But here we have in 1855, 1885, 106 white people were lynched, 78 Negroes were lynched, giving you a total of 184. So when you look at these numbers, in 1913, only one white person was lynched, 51 black people were lynched. It was like a tie right here. So in 1901 and 1902, 107 blacks were lynched, right? All the while, 8 white people, and then 28. And then, as you see throughout history, when you get to 1906, 1907, 1909, it goes to 8, 3, 7, 14 white people getting lynched. All the while, it just seems like that the black numbers just stayed high, right?
right. And the craziness, the black people could be getting lynched for trying to escape the stuff. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like you trying
Right.
to escape it so you get
And
lynched.
and some of the white people were lynched because they were
Because they
befriending
was
black
helping
people.
us. Yeah,
Yeah.
they was helping us, and they were criminals too. I guarantee
Right.
you, it was half and half. Whoever was a criminal got lynched, and whoever helped us got lynched. And that's probably the only two things that was happening when it was them.
And then so that gives the total of 2,735 black people were lynched, and from 1885 to 1915, only 998 white people were lynched.
You can get lynched if they found out you learned how to read. If
Yep.
they found out that you learned how to read, they would lynch you so you wouldn't teach nobody else. Okay,
Yep.
the stuff is sick and crazy.
Okay. So, I can't wait to finish sharing all of that stuff with y'all with what was going on in that, with what I saw and the things like that within the museum because it goes back to like what you said, Truban, that like when we were out, I even asked one of my cousins and she was like, no, she don't want to be with us. You know what I mean? I don't know if she ever gave her reason, but I know
Right.
she was definitely on the no report. Of it all. And I could be messy and call and see what she says.
Oh my God.
Let's see. Let's see. Y'all know we like to put people on the spot. Just because, Andre, you're the only one. I don't want you to be alone tonight. You're the only one who said no. You bold enough
I
to say
get it
no.
though. I understand why.
But it comes
I
with
understand it.
circumstance. Like I'm not just saying no, but how is it going to look? I'm not just going to walk in and be like, we all going to by y'all and get along. We can't do that now.
Hello?
I'm coming to get you, Andre.
Hey, I have a question for you. Hello? I have a question for you. When we went to the museum and you said, and we asked the questions and I was like, you know, would you rather live on an island with all of us, just have it all be black people, or just go ahead and keep it how it is today? And you were like, no, I do not want to live with all of us. Remember that?
No.
What you mean no?
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
No. Girl, I'm at the vet.
Oh, no.
She was pooping blood.
Oh, well, all right. Go ahead. Call me back. She with her dog. See. Oh, she's trying to backpedal.
But I mean, she might have thought about it, Candace. You know what I mean? When you really look at it, sometimes when you see all of these things, you know, like when you go to a museum, you seeing stuff that you never even seen and finding out facts you never knew.
Look,
you know what I mean? That could give you a whole different perspective than you went in there with.
To be continued.
Andre, I'm coming to get you. You had me for about the 5th time. I'm coming.
Too many of us. You know, look, I want to know who I'm surrounded by as a community.
Look, we gonna beat the little YNs, okay? We gonna have to tear them up and show them what place they belong in. We gonna have to get the little YNs.
Guys, I'm going to make a couple phone calls now. And this person is really Negro-fied.
It all depends.
Hey, how you doing?
Tell them they on the live, Candace. Tell them they on the live.
No, that's gonna take away. I got a question, and then you can go back night. Hello?
Yeah.
Would you rather live on an island with nothing but us black people and in our own world, or stay in this world mixed with the white people and all the limitations?
A lecture on man when he returns. With all the limitations.
With what's going on right now today, would you rather to be with all of your people or stay here with the mixed people?
Depend upon how our people will act. We have different angles, just like they have different angles.
Okay.
You have some of the what they call the YNs or whatever they are.
Everybody keep talking about this YN.
The YNs is scary, girl. Them YNs are the
stop. But some of the YNs gonna protect you.
I wouldn't want none of them.
They will too.
Okay, so he said, you guys, he said he wouldn't want none of them. He wouldn't want none of them.
And not to just say, hey, it's one of those situations, but yeah, I want peace at my age. How about that? So that's why I wouldn't want none of y'all.
All right, so let's say, so at your age you would want peace. So let's say if you was like 25. Would you
still wouldn't, but I never ran like these fools running now. So I just wanted some pussy and I was good.
Oh my God.
But y'all gotta remember too, the little YNs don't got a lot of guys. Like, y'all gotta get,
wait a minute, these were saying, if I'm on the show, yes.
That's what I'm saying. That's him live.
Don't give me a pre. You got pre.
You know you don't need no prerequisite. Why? We talk about freedom and you talking about coochie. We on two different sides of the plantation. Coochie. You know what, black man? Get off my phone. So he said no. Alexis said no to all my people. So Alexis, you got to put a 2. You have to put a number 2. Okay, so Andre, you know, Andre, you're not seeming to be alone here.
But I think the little YNs need a little guidance. You get what I'm saying? I think a lot of times y'all gotta look at it like the more as time go by, the more off the chain stuff is. Like it's so many things that don't exist. I remember like when I was coming up, you did have people who had parents that were alcoholics or like drug addicts and stuff like that. But we had recreation centers to go hang out at that had like adult people in them that were nurturing, and you had stuff to do. So it kind of like kept you busy or something like that. it was stuff kind of implemented, and they snatched all of that stuff away. Not to say that, the government should be paying for these type of things, but I mean, when y'all can pay for a damn ballroom in the White House, I feel like why not pay to keep some inner city youth together? You get what I'm saying? Like, especially when y'all know y'all the ones that flooded the drugs in the first place. Maybe nobody wouldn't have been on drugs. Who knows? We don't know. We ain't never lived that life without them in the neighborhoods. You get what I'm saying? But there's
Right.
people that been around when it was none of that. You get what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, when you look at everything that they snatched away and all the things they implemented, because you got to remember, even with the whole social service thing, has always been made
Well,
for
that was
white women.
invented for
You
them.
know what
That
I
was
mean?
invented.
That was made right. But when black women got on it, what was the next rule? No fathers could live in the house. Who's making that?
Mm-hmm.
Who's
Yeah.
making these things and these rules? It makes zero
Yeah.
sense. I mean, why would you break down a family because they need assistance?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like when people go to jail. If you go to jail, I mean, you did your time. You get what I'm saying? Why is it that now you can't come out to get a decent job because for the rest of your life, they want to look at you like you still a criminal?
Yeah.
How
Mm-hmm.
do I supposed to get my life together when I get out on these streets if you tell me no to everything?
That's that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is it making sense? Like
So
it's a whole system set up for you to fail. And you know what's crazy? When they holler DEI, they own all these companies, right? So when their son or when their friend's son or somebody that they cool with, kid or whoever they know, need a job when they get out of jail and it's them, they gonna give them a good job.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
doesn't that go back down to, us doing things for us doing things for us?
But
You
that's
know,
what we need to
um,
do. That's what we
outside
need to do.
outside of that, right? And this is
Yeah.
here because I feel like that this all of these things go together. Thank you guys. Don't forget to vote. Alexis said no. Alexis, I'd like to know what's your reason. What's your reason? Um, because here we are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we seem to always be harder on us, and I just feel like that. Um, I do think that everybody should take a trip to this museum. I believe that it would give you a different perspective. It seems like Tremanda would love to be on the side of the world with all of us, and she's going to be in charge of all the YNs because she feels like they just need a way. And you have some people who have more patience for stuff like that. Like me, I can't get in the gutter. I mean, I can't get down there in the gutter with people. So it's like sometimes you got to leave some people where they are. But outside of that, we have this thing with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, right? Here we are. Now she's back in circulation. She did that. So you guys see the viral sound of the documentary, the Netflix documentary sound. She did hers. And when she did hers, she did it putting on a cap and gown. Now, I'm not that invested to know if it was the cap and gown of the school, if it was the cap and gown of another school she went to. I quite frankly don't care. You already know my spiel on that. But there are so many. It was like a lot of black women that I saw
Of course.
that are like pissed
Mm-hmm.
that she even did this trend. And she did it right with her. You can see her bachelor's for different things on the wall, right? You see her certification, you see all of her like credentials. I'm guessing it's a room in her house or office, I don't know. And they and this young lady did a video that I saw, and she went on and was like, we don't care if you do this. I went online and researched for $38 or $83. I could get that same cap and gown. Like, went to the extent of Googling
Mm-hmm.
the cap and gown. Like, and this is what I'm saying. Like, pay attention to this based on everything that we talked about tonight. Googled the cap and gown, did all of this, and turned it into this huge thing, right? Still saying it doesn't matter. You said you were a doctor, you're not a doctor, this, that, and the third. Now here it is. There's been nothing on record to say that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant has clinically diagnosed anybody. She has not clinically diagnosed anybody. But I do sometimes believe that we as people, we don't care about facts. We move off of emotion. We care
Definitely.
more about emotion because again, you know, we know she here we do, they might not, but we know she trademarked her business under Dr. Bryant. That is her trademark, her business name, right? We can't make her change that. And as I go on the internet now, mind my business. I tried to, but I commented underneath this video, and I just was like, you know, it's interesting to me that if she's sitting in front of all of these achievements, she's sitting under all of this stuff, and everybody is dismissing that she has her bachelor's, she has her master's, she has her Christian science, Christian school, universities and stuff, pictures even with some of the people getting it. We all we care about is she said she was a doctor. Where's her doctorate? This is all we care about. She said she was a doctor. And so I was in the comments and I just was like, you know, even with her sitting in front of all of this, it'll never be good enough. And I said that I would hope that a lot of these people who are talking about this stuff are benefiting from it. Like you're using it for your platform and it's getting your reviews and clicks and links, and you're able to make some money off of it. Because I don't want to believe, you know, and this could be my part of denial, right? And the Nile is not just a river in Egypt. That I don't want to believe that we as people are that invested in other people's lives.
Yes, we are.
That we don't have shit else going on.
We definitely are.
We don't like
Because
we don't have anything else
We
going on.
definitely are.
And I had put that in a comment, and I put that in the comments, and I was like, if you're not using this where you're making some money off of it, okay, and it's just for conversations, I understand. But I would hate to think that the average regular American day person is sitting around trying to figure out if this lady really has a doctorate and if she ordered this cap and gown from the internet. Do you know how much you have nothing going on? And I put that in the comment. I said there are more bigger issues right now than if this woman got a goddamn doctorate or if her uniform cap and gown came from Amazon.
It's not even that. It's like when you look at certain people, we're gonna come for each other. They're gonna come first. They're gonna come for your accolades, okay? But they don't care how you accomplish it, what you got going on. So if I make a handbag and I come to find out I'm using vegan leather or something, but I promoted it as this high end, like it's Louis Vuitton. You're not going to tear Louis Vuitton down, but guess what? Louis Vuitton use that same vegan leather that I use. But
yes,
me, since this little Andre in Baltimore City, we're going to tear him all the way down to the ground.
Yeah.
And stitch that's in a pocketbook. We're going to analyze it. That thread is fake. We're going to analyze it. But the whole time, the same person is over here who's getting all this motion, we ain't gonna say nothing. We ain't gonna look. We're gonna go by and shut our mouths. Sometimes it's not. It's just who you are. We're gonna come, and they come for your accolades first. You don't know how to sew. You don't know what he's doing. We do that. It's I don't know, but the psychic people do that. So they came right for her. You don't know what that woman accomplished. They probably Google the school to see if she went there. You know what I'm saying? Like they go, like you said, they go too far. So what point you gonna make? Exactly.
Yeah,
I just think that most people have like biases.
He said I can't stand us sometimes. All that flack for Cheyenne, but they wouldn't but they won't question them light-skinned folks about nothing. Shaking my head. Absolutely. I understand. I agree with that too, because look, Trump ain't got none of the qualifications, you know, that they be saying you got to have.
Exactly.
Look, they will go with him, and some of us will go with him, okay? And he sounds so uneducated that it's crazy to me.
Right.
But we call it somebody uneducated, sounding like he grew up in the gutter.
They gave her the Nobel. They gave Ivanka the Nobel Peace Prize, and she ain't got no accolades that come with the Nobel Peace Prize.
Listen, Ivanka is the only president's wife that you ever heard, and I'm talking about the white women too that don't want shit to do with it. She ain't never came through doing anything. What have you heard her do? Period. All of them do something. The ones we like, don't like, they do something. She ain't did a thing or whatever. But you know, it's all good. You know. But I just feel like with us, I just hope that us at some point we do get on the same page. The whole Cheyenne Bryant. I just think people are in different stages of life. Like no matter what. Like we may not have understandings to everybody's life, even these little YNs. Little YNs is a little scary when you think about them, but they could be the kid who never had no guidance.
But
You get what I'm saying?
to a degree, Dale, you do need a little YN. Alexa said, listen.
They gonna come.
Listen, I'm just saying.
Alexa
Listen,
said,
people got some YN kids right now. Right now.
She says, as the saying goes, you can't take everybody. I wouldn't want people who can't help elevate the community as a whole. People such as Sexy Red and things like that and the like.
But you know what the craziest thing is?
Some of y'all do not
listen, Candace, me and you, Candace, is the Sexy Red conversation, okay? Me and you.
It looked like it got somebody else with a Sexy Red.
Nobody,
and I be feeling bad.
Highly degree. You see what I'm saying? They make an assumption. This girl could have like 10 degrees underneath her belt. You make an assumption.
Sexy Red.
Yes, because
what she Sexy Red, Andre.
Yes.
Okay.
You're making an assumption because of what she do. That don't mean she don't got degrees like everybody else got.
Yeah.
Like you gotta stop the narrative. Again, we pinning our own selves down and we don't even know.
Listen, I just want to say something. I don't know whether y'all might be about to come through. Y'all might come out a bag on me right now, but I'm going to say something about that because I am on the fence and off the fence with that whole situation because I'm thinking bigger. I think people like Sexy Red are something pushed. And I'm not going to lie. I want to big her up because she is probably some young girl from the hood. Whether you get a little young girl from the hood, maybe she not. She might be something different. I don't know. But she is the typical everyday person from anywhere to me when I look at her. You get what I'm saying? Now, any young girl from a hood would think they could be Sexy Red. You get what I'm saying? Oh, I could do that. Let me go rap. I could be her. She look like me. She look like she might come from where I come from, whatever. Bigger picture. When you take yourself out of that, put yourself in a bigger picture. Look at what they're pushing, though. Listen to the music. Look what's being pushed.
But
this is what's being pushed.
DJ says Sexy Red is his little cousin.
Why is it being pushed?
It's his little cousin. Okay.
Why is it being pushed, though?
Okay, but I feel like it's being pushed because it's still trying to dumb you down.
Guess what?
You let me tell you.
It's being pushed.
Listen, at all times, if we trying to elevate, we can't stay down. We can't stay down. I'm sorry. Like, you have to elevate.
When they start talking about their titties, their butt, Cardi, they know what they need to sell. I need the sex sell.
Right, but I'm saying, look at where they're taking you to sell.
Y'all got to go one at a time. Because y'all cutting each other off on the live.
Go ahead.
All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Andre. I'm sorry, Andre.
When they come out, they know what's going to sell. So unfortunately, when I come out with my album, I got to think about, okay, Kim came out, sex symbol. Foxy, they coming out with this sex symbol, this sex. I got to be naked. Throw some hair in my head, show my ass and my titties, and talk about sex because that's what's going to sell and propel me to the front. If I want to get up there with the Cardis and everybody else,
okay,
you know what I'm saying. And not saying that you can't come along with a nice wholesome song and be okay, but you got my Young Miami spin that shit. Look, come on, they know what they got to put out here. It's going to grab the population, grab the people that's going to buy their music. And get that money.
Okay. Now I'm gonna talk about that same subject, but I'm gonna spin it somewhere else. Okay. Now, when you look at that type of music, okay, because it was all like I'm gonna say I'm over 50. Okay, so when I was coming up in rap music talked about stuff, a lot of struggle, a lot of everything, but they didn't delve into that stuff until a little bit later. Okay.
Right.
Now you have to look at who owns the music industry, who pushes these things. When you even hear the stories of the things these people was told behind closed doors or what they had to do to even get their stuff pushed, that's a story in itself. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you look a little deeper, when you looking at this music, who is this music being pushed to, first of all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, who is the people singing this music,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, the crazy thing is, all of this stuff will be pushed to our community more than anything, even though they listen to a lot of this. That's why you see them jumping over the fence too a lot. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? You ain't never seen so many white women wanting butts, lips, and cheeks, and all of this kind of crap that they was always against. Let them tell it, which is fake to me too. There's so
Candy
much
rap
stuff
like
that I
Lil
feel
Kim
like it's
though.
fake. It was never real. None of it was real.
They started implanting Brazilian butt lifts. I mean, keep it real.
Right?
They
Come on,
started.
keep it real. Get this
We don't
naturally.
support that. We want
With
to
us, it's natural. We can't get rid of it. You get what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? That's the kind of stuff that they talk down to us about. But they will big that up because they created it in surgery now, which is really still another market. You gotta look at the marketing. It's a whole
Hold
lot of
on,
stuff
wait
going
a
on at
minute.
one time. What?
So wait, so you said that I rap like Lil Kim?
Not you rap like Lil Kim, girl.
That is hilarious. First of all, that got to be explained because I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. What do you mean I rap like Lil Kim? I like
Uh-uh.
wait. First of all, when you hear Candy wrote it. Okay,
I'm a host.
I had to take that. I wrote my stuff as in the courtesy of Nicki Minaj. I write my stuff. Wait a minute, you have to
And listen,
explain
even
that. She
like
gonna
when
say,
you
yeah.
listen to all of that, like when you look at our lanes, do y'all even really look at how much like what is the word I'm trying to use? It is so much like inner fighting within our community and everything. Even music. I remember back in the day, rappers did verses type of stuff. They wasn't beefing, it was just a verses. Now I
So
feel
here
like
we
they
are.
be
So here we are. Since we're on that part of it, right?
okay.
Yeah, as she said, rap them a motherfucking verse though. Rap who a verse. Are you saying because I know their music? Listen, I'm sorry, y'all. I got to know. I got to get an understanding because y'all. So only one of my friends have been with me in the studio, and I really be in there like trying not to say certain things. Don't I? Don't I? If I'm lying, I'm flying.
No, you're right, because you your own
Right?
little person up in that studio, okay?
Okay, and so it's that can be a little bit of a struggle, but I'm gonna wait for I'm gonna wait for Lord Dominique Jarvis to explain that. But outside of that, though, right, with just what you guys are talking about, and tonight, since the topic that we're discussing is let's challenge our thinking. Oh, she said no. She's saying I can rap. Oh, okay, girl. Because I'm about to say I ain't never been in there like put that dick up in my butt, throw it down,
Well,
fucking
they
put it.
did say Lil Cam had the skills back when she had the skills, even though it
Well, you
might have
know
been big,
what?
who knows? But I'm just saying.
Thank you.
You know
Thank you,
what I
cousin,
mean?
for the clarity, girl. Because I thought you were trying to say I'd be in there talk about swallowing semen and stuff, girl. I'm like, wait a minute.
Lord have mercy.
But thank you for the compliment. But listen, right? Since tonight is about challenging the thinking, and we've covered so many discussions and topics, right? And this might be I'm not gonna make this self-centered, but this is going to come back to me because you and Andre, but mainly like you when it came to the things that's being pushed right out here. You have me, right? Where
Mhm.
um I do as much positivity as I can because I feel like it's so much negativity and different things being pushed that I don't want to do that. So sometimes things can be a little slower for those people, right? Outside of that, but we too, if we're blaming it and we're saying that they're pushing this negative, we don't even come together as a collective to push the positive stuff, right?
But that's a collective.
So,
That's a
so
collective because you got to remember it is
wait a minute, wait a minute. Look. Let me get it
okay.
together.
Okay,
So it's
I'm
like outside of that, because what I can say, what I've started doing and what I've learned, right, is We don't always have, sometimes you don't have to always reach up to people. You can reach to the people that you can reach, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And I'll never take anything away because y'all, we've been here 8 years. Shout outs to us, and y'all do what we do. Y'all do what we do. But what I'm saying is that we're saying, well, why do you think they're pushing these messages? Why do you think that these things are being pushed? Why that the other? I feel like the other side of that question should be, why are we even entertaining it when it's pushed? Like you can block it, right? For anybody that you know that is not, and when it is some positive things, why aren't you pushing that? It's, I said this, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. It's not their fault that they are able to tap into emotions and use a system that they know is going to get people's attention.
Yes.
You know, negativity. So yeah, like you said, Andre, sex sells, you know, negativity. You know, when you could be a woman, you can walk in a room fully clothed, depending on who's in the room, you still going to turn heads, right? Because I feel like certain things are just an aura, right? But you have some women who have to show up half naked in order to get some attention. And it may not always mean that it's something wrong with them when it comes to different things. I don't know specifics, but I'm just talking about in general, right? That, hey, I have to do this to get what I want. Case in point, you meet a man and he got a girlfriend or a dude is in a relationship. You know he ain't trying to get with you because he want to know what your favorite color is. He trying to get some poom poom, right? So when you know this, you then have the authority of your own life and your choices to say, I'm not messing with you because you got a whole wife at home. I'm not messing with you. You have a boyfriend at home. You know what? I don't really see too much. I'm going to push and reshare, or I'm going to engage in this content, or I'm going to send out, and I'm going to be the, you know, I always say, you know, be the energy that you want to attract. Put out what it is that you want to receive. We already know that the negativity is going to sell. We already, like, look at it now. I seen something earlier that said now when it comes to us women, all we see online that's pushed a lot when it comes to us women is fighting, because we got all that baddies girls and all of that, drinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Smoking, right?
Right.
And just being half crazy and all of that. When do you see them, you know, the us graduating with the bachelors and all of that? That comes out there too, usually when there's a HBCU or somebody is pushing or paying for their content and things like that to be pushed. So this is why I truly always like to say that it is very important that when you can't control the things around you and you can't control the outside entities, you can control the universe that surrounds you. You know what I mean? Because ultimately, you know, you're right, Andre. We don't know if Sexy Red got degrees and stuff like that. You know, she the one. Sweetie's the rapper who got. Sweetie is the rapper who's the one who started the whole 6-figure nigga, right? She can't mess with a man that ain't got 6 figures. I remember when she came out and she started that rich nigga. You know, rich nigga dick, that's my type. That's my type. Ride the dick all night, right? That was popular. It was popular. But she also she graduated from college. Then you have, she has a degree. She went to college. She's black and like Asian and all this other stuff. But then you have Lady London. Lady London is very educated. Lady London, thank you, cousin. Lady London is very educated. Lady London went to school, but Lady London raps about completely different stuff. But she is overlooked. So you got to look at it when it comes to these people, and and you have to understand, although these people are pushing wrong agendas, these people still have a business to run. You know, you're going to push what's going to make you money, right? And
I get that. I get that.
that comes down to you having to make sure that you ain't willing to sell your soul for $1, because there's a lot of people who got overlooked because they wouldn't sell their soul for $1. And to me, I feel like that they are more impactful than those who did, because as you can see right now, hip hop and rap has died.
Yeah.
It's died. They
Yes.
don't know what to do. They don't know. So it is almost kind of like, I think it's what is, I do believe that it's a good thing, because I am starting to see more and more artists, Christian rappers come through. More and more rappers come through that don't curse. And I'm starting to see a lot of that more, to where as though I feel like that things are going the way they are, because like God says, you know, the first last shall be first and first shall be last. I do believe that we are coming in a time where these roles are going to be, they are coming to an end to be reversed.
But
You
more
know?
like what you said earlier about, like, even like far as the businesses. Now you had so many people in Baltimore, entrepreneurs, shout them out. I mean, they trying to make it. So why is it that if Candace comes to my shop and get a snowball and she go back and make a video, it ain't much traction. But you got someone like Keith Lee who comes from out of town, gets my snowball, and next day I got a line down the block. Why can't my own city do this without somebody else coming from out of town? And, you know what I'm saying? Encouraging in my business, trying to move it up.
I think it's because he has a platform and they're popular,
Also,
you know. So like that's why I was saying that's one of the things that, you know, with my friends, and you know, she's one of them that's on the line tonight. You know, I had to really get out of that because that will really like, that can really like hold us back, because it's one of those things where as though he's pushing, he's grinding, he's doing his thing, and it goes back to what we talked about a few minutes ago, the influence. If I want to sell this, Chanel bag, and I know I can put Lady Gaga in it, I'm gonna put Lady Gaga in it, and it's going to get that traction. I think what it is we have to stop looking at the little person, because every pro was an amateur once. And that's why for me, I've and what I did when I did my platform and the things that I'm doing right now, right, is that's why for years you always see me, I always had guests come on that were new businesses. I didn't know if you was going to continue to do it or not, and I'm bringing you on my platform, and then people will go ahead and do it. But I'm gonna bring it to
expose.
I'm gonna expose it and bring the light to it. I'm going to do that. So that's why it's like I can only do what it is that I can do. That's why, I mean, of course, with it, but then it does come a time where it's like business. Like when you go on my websites and you want to conduct business with me for certain things, yeah, there is a price for that, because this is how I live. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But unless you tell me, hey, this is my budget, this is what I'm trying to do, people won't even let you get there to that point.
Right.
But the thing outside of that too is, that's why I've always been like, for me, I love brands and stuff who aren't extremely high. Like I love Steve Madden, I love y'all hate her, but I love Nicki Minaj, right? And the reason why I liked her is because I remember when she first came out, her clothes were in like Kmart and things like that, and her tennis that she came out with was still in the everyday working class person's budget, right? And I had one friend who couldn't stand Steve Madden. He's like, Steve Madden is always replicating these designer shoes, that is that and the third. But when I said, but what's wrong with that? But when I heard Steve Madden's shoes, I mean, his story, when he was talking about how he was a drunk and he was out there, he said when he was poor, he always wanted nice things. And he don't feel that only the rich people or people in certain tax brackets should be able to have nice things. That made me fall in love with him even more. And when Nicki Minaj was asked, you know, why is your stuff so cheap? Or why did you put this there? And she said, because the average person is my fan. My fans aren't millionaires and billionaires, and I want my fans to be able to afford whatever it is. You can never get me to fall in love with Louis and Gucci and Balenciaga and all of them, because they make it clear they don't want us in it.
Thank
you.
you.
So I'm always going to be there for the new talent, the business owner, the new designer, you know, the black brands. Just because I got to a space over the last year where it's like, yo, I want my money to help make somebody else rich, not keep the rich richer. And that may be an oxymoron statement, so let me fix that.
No,
I want to help my own people.
you want to see representation in what you
Exactly.
support.
Exactly.
You know, you don't see no black person sitting at Louis. I'm being honest. Not even
Yeah.
sitting on the board. But
Yeah.
well, they got Pharrell now to be the face. But you know how that is. We need you to sell the product. But yeah, hey, we need you to sell the product for us. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I think oh, with the other caller we lost her. She had fell off. But so that's why oh, there she goes. That's why I said, it's all about what we can do. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Hey, you know what? Because even with you, right? Even with us, even with myself, it's like, you know what? I gotta kind of get connected to somebody that may have a larger platform so that I can get out there more. So no knock against like the Keith Lees and the people who do it and they're able to do so. But I don't know. I don't. I'll let y'all know when I get there. But that's my famous line. But I do know that that's why I feel like it's important for us to control, because I remember it was a point in time where I used to have to always call or remind my friends or people who I had connections to, like my friends and family, can you share my post for me? Can you do this? Can you engage on this? Can you go do that? Because after a certain time, for a while, I was like, man, fuck it. I'm not gonna keep asking y'all. Y'all know what's up, and it used to make me feel a way towards some of them. I'm not even gonna lie.
right.
But I had to get control of that and really focus. Like Tyler Perry is not following none of y'all. Oprah is not out here, and they may or may not. But I had to look at it that way for a while, and then I got into the space these last 2 years where it was like, guess what? God got me. And if it's meant for it to happen, you gonna do it. I know who be on social media, who don't. I know how to work social media and who don't. So I get that. You know what I mean? You have to change, you have to change your thinking and how you see things. And once I shifted that mindset, God been blowing me up.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was recently asked, and I was like, dang, I like when people ask me questions because I'm usually on the other end of the mic. They said, are you able to, well, how is it? Because the first thing when it comes to social media, people want to know, well, do you make money? How much money you make? Well, what do you get? And I was like, they were like, do you make enough money? Do you make money to where you can live off of it? And I used to answer questions first based upon how I feel, right? And I said, oh, I don't want to do that because I'm not feeling the way, but let's answer this question. And I said, because before I answered, God said, what you gonna say? And I said, yeah, I got laid off of my job last year, and I literally, incorporated with the little unemployment and stuff. That was only like $400. But I was like, I literally had to live off of my business for the entire remaining year of 2025. So, do I have millions? No, I don't. But God damn it, I made it to this year, and I looked at that too. I said, well, that God, you just was giving me a glimpse of what it's going to be like when I do start to work full blown and not have to live off of it. You know what I mean? So it's all about how we look at it. It's all about how we see things. It's all about our perspectives. So if you tired of seeing all the negative stuff, or if you are able to push something positive, push something positive. If you're able to be the positive, be the positive.
Yes, that's important. So important.
You have to do it. You have to do it because nobody out here is, at the end of the day, nobody's out here going to do it for us. And don't get me wrong, I'm always one that'll go against something. But people be going back and forth with me. You're not gonna make me hate Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. It ain't because she black, it ain't because she white, it ain't because she green, it ain't gonna be, it's simply because she got more goddamn money than me.
Hello.
She did something right. And then at the end of the day, we do look at the way they push the negative, but we also got to look at the fact of the way how sometimes they also try to tarnish us.
Oh, definitely.
They're going to
And
tarnish us,
they
period.
use
That's just
us
what
to
it
do
is.
it. They use
Yes,
us
they're going
to
to.
do it.
Yes, and we jump on it because we ignorant. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like people are so ignorant to the knowledge of so many things. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of times when you don't know, when you ignorant to it, and I remember, like when I was young, I used to talk to the Muslims coming around selling oil, and I was like 12 or 13 or something. You know what I mean? I was ignorant because, of course, you young. A lot of times back then, at my age that I am now, my parents ain't talked to me about all of these type of things. Like, so talking to them was opening me up to something totally different than I ever knew. You get what I'm saying? So when they told me when you are like when you knowledge about certain things, like when you know about certain stuff, you are now like liable to the things you know.
Right.
So that scared me. And at that age, I ain't want to know too much. Like, shit, don't tell me too much because I don't want to be held responsible for what I know, right?
Yeah.
But that was the ignorance in me. I knew nothing else. Ain't nobody was telling me to stay away from this or be knowledge of this. A lot of my knowledge I learned on my own. And when I got older, when I had kids, I was trying to push the knowledge, okay? Push what I thought I knew, push when I was wrong. I'm coming back in conversations to say I was wrong. This is all I knew, but this is what it is for real. You get what I'm saying? So me and my kids, they had 1,000,001 conversations. That's why I'm saying even just putting out a word sometimes is what's good. Putting out a word, you never know what a person is learning. I learned a lot when I was young, but it was because somebody out there put out a word for me. That's why I'm saying young, the little YNs or whatever. Some of them probably just lost, very lost. They scary, yes they are. But you know what? Somebody rolled the dice on you. You might not even been that scary, but somebody rolled the dice. You
And
get
we
what I'm
can't and we
saying?
can't judge people, like I said last week. We can't always keep judging people based upon the chapter of their lives we walk in on.
That they in because you never know why they even turned into the little YN. You don't know. You know what I mean? They could have had a whole crazy story behind why they wind up out there like that. You
Yeah.
Definitely.
get what I'm saying? But that's why you had like back in the day, that's why it is a difference because you had a lot of speakers out here. You had a lot of people pushing for positivity. These things are dying down because the ignorance is taking over to brainwash us.
Mm-hmm.
And separatism. I'm sorry, I know a lot of people love Kevin Samuels, and I was a person who had to dive into him. And I'm not going to say I disagree with some of the stuff he said. I agree, but I had to watch him. You get what I'm saying? And it took challenges because some of the stuff I was hearing, I just hated right off the breaks. But there's still a lot of stuff I feel like when you have a mind of your own, I get that you might take in some of the stuff he says, and I'm not going to say I 100% disagree with some of the stuff he says because some stuff I agree with. But you better
Mhm.
be a person that could think on your own. You have to be a person that could think on your own. I'm sorry. You might could have fell into, I like Derek Jackson at one point. You know what I mean? But Derek Jackson going to be talking to you from certain points in your life that you may be in right now. You're
Mm-hmm.
dealing with this right now. So, of course, he sounds like everything you want it to sound like because this is where you are right now.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So, of
So,
course, you're
so
going to agree
CJ
with
said,
him.
I guess CJ's responding to you, Andre. He said Pharrell is at Louis Vuitton and they had Kanye as an intern, and Virgil Abloh was there.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
they're fakes. They not invested in the company, they're not running the company. We're just using them, they using them as a
As a
muscle
fake
for
to
black
get
Yeah.
us because they need our money.
Kanye.
They need our money.
We see black over here. We see black men. So now we drawn
Listen,
what's going on. But it's not like
Louis Vuitton,
because of the brand, it's because of who face we see.
who is,
That's why
listen,
a lot of the companies that when they started, they was backed by white people. They found a black person to
yes,
be the face of the company because they knew that would draw us right to the company. We saw
yes,
such over the face. Oh, then it must be a good product because
uh-huh,
why Beyonce is promoting it. Hmm.
yes.
Hmm.
It could be dirty.
Listen, if we ain't learned nothing in the museum,
Exactly. It's a marketing tool. This is what they do.
So
That was it.
CJ Andre said, "Listen, it's a marketing tool," and that goes back. That does go back to what we were saying, that when you want something to sell and you want something, you know who to put in it to
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
to to get it. So Dominique said these kids are making a lot more money than us '90s babies. They're being raised without fear, which I love. It's a gift and a curse. Yeah,
They are. But see,
yeah,
they the one, like I said, I worked in a school system for 25 years. Let me
uh huh,
tell you, let me tell you, some of my babies that was back in the 90s, these children are LPNs, they are Ns, they got it going on. But you don't hear so much about them because you see what's being promoted in the street. It's
mm-hmm.
not any of them. And you got some of them that was YNs back then. You like this knucklehead, but they changed.
Yeah,
Somebody tapped in and said, you got to do better. You
yeah,
can do better. And I'm going to show you how to do better. That's all.
yeah.
They're not all lost. They're not all lost. Trust me. It just
That
takes
is
something,
true.
like she said, to get a hold of them and say, let me show you. I'm not going to just let you fall at the wayside.
Exactly. Exactly. It's this quote that I look, y'all. I'm back at the museum. It's this quote that I saw at the museum in the black comedy section. And it made me think exactly about what you guys just said. And it was dang, I thought I took a picture of it. And it was saying how a lot of the times, they would invite us to come to things just so we'll give them the okay of approval to do jacked up stuff. Oh, man.
Mhm.
Almost like if you can, damn, almost like if you can get a black person similar to what happened with I feel like the roast with the Kevin Hart thing to approve your foolishness, then
It's
that's
okay.
almost like a green light for you to do what you want to do. Dang, I wish I could find it. It's in my videos somewhere. It's in my videos. But this was a great conversation. So look, this quote from Charles Gilpin said, "Learn to see the drama in your own lives, and one day the world will come to see you." Okay. Um, I don't know. I think that it can be very oh, I'm sorry. I knocked the thing, girl. I think that it's just important for us, I feel like, to know who we are as people, to know where we come from, and to know that we are excellent. And it starts with us. She said Kevin Samuels got on my nerves. Kevin had the people in a chokehold. Um, and I think that that's ultimately it is up to us to ultimately educate our children. Like Tremanda said, we can't always just rely on the school system to do it. Um, even now, you have a lot of people who are going into these fields. Nursing is a big one. You have a lot of people now. Are y'all really becoming nurses because y'all can, or y'all chasing the check? Because that's why I believe we have so many people mistreating the elderly, mistreating dementia patients, mistreating the people they're taking care of, because a lot of people aren't doing it because their heart is called to do it. They're doing it because they need some money.
I think
And
at
we all
some
know,
point people have to really like hunt their inner self. Like they
yeah,
have to really do the hunting of your inner self. What do you really want from you? What do you want out of life? Like what do you want? Seriously. Because with all of that stuff, like you have to have a mind of your own. You should never just be controlled because anything could be pushed on you to control you at the end of the day, if that's what it is. You get what I'm saying? Like, Kevin Samuels and a Dirk Jackson, like I was trying to bring up earlier, but I probably didn't tap something that messed up my you being in this thing or whatever. But, you know, outside of them, I still believe some of the stuff that both of them said, and I disagree with some of the stuff that both of them said. And I believe when you have a mind of your own, you just don't go with stuff when it's incorrect. If it's incorrect, it's incorrect. You can love and agree with anything. But when you know it's incorrect, that's just what it is. This is incorrect. Period. And that's what's important about thinking on your own. Thinking on your own, you're totally controlled when you start being at a point where you're just going with stuff because you feel like you have a certain respect for Kevin Samuels or whoever. You
But
out of control
like the
when
man
you
said,
start going with
like that man
anything.
said on TV, what do you do when the village is retarded?
It's true. Because I mean, you can't go with everything just to try to save face. You get what I'm saying? I love a lot of people out here, but I had to come to a whole lot of realities because when I started liking these people, it was because they were speaking to stuff I was dealing with at a time. So when I'm dealing with these things at a time, everything that they're talking to me about seems like it is going towards what I'm in. I'm in this space right now. I'm not thinking about my growth 5 months from now on or 90 days from now on 30. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what type of growth I'm going to have, but in this 30 days, I'm still going to be able to look back at, okay, I thought that is what I was thinking 30 days ago. I feel differently about that now. That's why it's important to have an open mind, because you got to remember too that, you know, we all are in spaces at different times in life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We whole adults, we have kids, you know what I mean? I have children that are adults also. They going through stuff that I did when I was their age. And of course, when I was their age, I was doing the same stupid crap they doing.
Was you really?
Somebody was telling me not to do that shit at that time too. Girl, what are you doing? It's time to leave. Who is
Look,
he? You know what I mean? Whatever they was telling me.
CJ said, and actually Kanye used them to learn the fashion, and you can see today what he did with that knowledge and experience. Plus, he went to them. They didn't call Kanye, and he interned at Fendi, not Louis Vuitton. So, Mr. Andre 5000, CJ is saying, that black people do be at these tables, but when you look at that and you use, if we're going to use Kanye, we can't dismiss the fact that he went to black people to try to get into the rap industry, and they turned him down 1,000 times.
True.
But you got to understand, when you come to those white tables like Kanye, the white table ain't letting you pass a certain point. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
Now, they will use a Kanye all day, because this is why I keep saying that our dollar is important. They will make you feel like your broke ass dollar ain't shit. It's a lie. That's why they go get Kanye's. At one point, they made you feel like they don't want your broke ass dollar. That's a lie. Because why they go get Kanye when they feel like only white people can afford this? Now they gonna bring a nigga on the shit? Like, where that makes sense at?
Right. But they only letting him in because of his status.
Yes, and your face. Because guess what? You gonna get all them broke ass bitches that's gonna go out here with drug dealer niggas that's gonna buy them the Louis Vuitton purses, right? Okay, because you best to believe that fucking money coming through the drug dealers is a lot of money. Don't sleep on it. You know what I'm saying? They not stupid. We be the stupid people because we we think that's the big stuff.
If you you're supposed to go in there and learn the tricks of the trade.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna get what works for you.
You got to go in and take note on how they run it, how they think, and then you come back out and do your thing. But yeah, if they let you in, you better go in and learn all you can learn, because ain't too many good men to learn it. So
okay, CJ. So they said, mind your tongue, nigga.
No, we did.
I'm sorry.
They ain't let him in. They ain't let him in because they wanted him there. They let him in because they had an agenda.
Yeah, they had an agenda, but the crazy stuff that we be needing to peep is they needed an agenda. That's the thing. That's the most important thing. They needed an agenda. Why is they even creating an agenda for us? Because they need our money, right?
But
Yeah.
While they on the side still trying to act like they don't need our money.
And at the same time, they always say we don't put our kids in this stuff.
right, they don't buy that. They
Their
don't.
kids gonna jump in this stuff. That's why they over there getting lip injections and butts now, right?
They so frugal with their money. That's why they got so much because they're not going out here buying no
True. They're not
$40,000.
even gonna do the stuff we do.
They're doing it. They're not
They're not
buying.
gonna do the stuff we do.
They're not. They're
Well,
just
that's,
not.
That's
that's
the
also because labels.
Andre.
But that's
Andre,
also
I love you, Andre.
because labels make us feel
Status.
yeah.
Important. They make you really feel important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that shit ain't important for real.
He said Kanye had an agenda as well.
Okay.
But I mean, he could have been being handled. He's handled, not knowing he handled. Candace, that nigga been handled. He been handled. He don't know he handled over there.
So look, before we get out of here, I would have loved for CJ to be able to get up here to
CJ, where you at? Why you ain't on this line?
to defend his white rights.
Andre, you is my dude.
Oh my God. But even with Puffy, when Puffy got in the door, he was smart. He was smart because he went in there and he learned what he needed to learn and came back out and did his thing. So you don't go into them type of situations and don't come out with something. You better come out with something when you.
Well, he also was beating women and drugging them and.
We talking about that for the business part of that.
well, he said
I got one thing to say to that whole thing, though. I ain't even gonna lie. That's way, way, way deep. I want to respect a Puffy. I ain't even gonna lie. But Puffy is the person that's gonna take you into slaughter at the end of the day. Because, and I'm saying, like, I feel like he probably went into it innocently. He probably didn't know what was what going in. But that whole
look, he's about to log off now. No, nigga, before I go, you can bring your ass to the podium.
Listen, that's a whole demonic industry if you let me tell it. You get what I'm saying? Because when you keep listening to all of these younger people's stories, they have a story. Their stories is the same. It does not change. You know what I mean? And really, when we looking at it, because now we not ignorant to the knowledge at this point because people telling us their story and what they've been through. So we can't go into this blindsided because we trying to make money. See, that's the whole thing. You can't keep selling your soul for the money.
People that they're lying, though. We still tell victims
I mean, that's some people.
Not victims.
Some people gonna say that. I ain't saying it.
Well, I'm just saying.
Now, if you want to listen to them or me, that's up to you at the end of the day. But I'm just saying, everything does not mean to consider selling your soul. CJ Don't sell your soul. That's why it's important for you to have a mind of your own and everything. CJ, you have to have a mind of your own.
Hold on, CJ. CJ has just entered the chat.
Come on, CJ. Let's go.
There we go. There we go.
Andre, you still here? Andre.
Andre about to bail on you by yourself now. Andre, he coming for you, sir.
Andre, don't be bailing on me.
We here.
That's right. We here. We disagree. We here because I let you down, okay?
How you doing, CJ?
I think it's important.
Hello.
Hey, CJ.
Not trying to come in all smooth. Hello. You better say it with your chest for you get chewed up and spit out.
Say it with your chest.
No, I'm tired for real. My eyes half open and everything, man.
I got you.
I hear y'all here talking all reckless.
Ooh. Okay. He's talking to y'all. Y'all talking real reckless over there. Don't get quiet now, Andre. There ain't no.
Turn 50, you talk reckless all the time now. Yeah, that's the damn thing.
So are you here, CJ, defending that, hey, the black people do have the influence, and what's your standpoint on it? Because if you let me explain your standpoint on it, it's given that you agree with the Jim Crow.
All right, the thing is this, right? And I'm not even gonna keep it to fashion or music or whatever. I'm gonna go broadband.
Of course, we hold the influence. We influence everything. They know this. We know this. Nothing nobody can do about it. Without us, nobody would be nothing. None of this stuff would exist if it wasn't for us. It's no different than what's always been happening. They take what we got, they make themselves look good behind it. And we always get the last little bit of credits for it if we get any of it.
Mm-hmm.
This
I
whole
don't think we know that. I'm
no,
sorry.
some of us do. A lot of us don't, though. Unfortunately, even in 2026, a lot of us still
Yep.
don't.
Yep.
And even to add on to that, and now thinking about earlier parts of the conversation when y'all was talking, people, how can I put this? Most of us are still stuck in the matrix. A lot of us feel like back the argument you was trying to make, Andre, when you were saying we gotta take accountability and we do certain stuff to ourselves and this, that, and the third. Yeah, I do agree with that. But there's a bigger issue that's at hand. It's so far deeply rooted in that. And I don't want to make it sound like I'm trying to make an excuse for niggas, but we can't have that conversation without understanding how deeply rooted that thing that them people put on us so long ago, how effective that thing has played out all the way up until today. We can't have that conversation without acknowledging that thing that they put on us that got us, trapped in this cycle that we still in as the majority. Of course you have pockets and sections of us that has woken up and becoming aware and see what's going on and are doing better. But those pockets and those small groups of us that's doing better and that is aware, it's nowhere near close to the majority of us that's still underneath of that rock or underneath of that cloud.
Yes,
That's why you could turn on the news or turn on social media and still see us as a whole represented as ignorant niggas that don't know how to act, while overshadowing those of us that is accomplishing great things, that are raising their kids well, that's taking care of their community. That's why you don't see that, because the majority of the thing that they set for us to look like still rule.
But when we do see the positive, why do we got to tear it apart? Why can't
That's
be?
still part of that goes back to what I just said. That's still part of that.
Exactly. When a good show up, we still got to find a way to make it a negative.
Listen, that goes to what I just said. That's still a part of that poisoning that they put on us. They divided us and messed us up so bad that even we can't even see the good and got to find a way to tear it down because we don't even know how to accept it and how to dig it up.
Exactly.
Yes. But that's why it is important that, like we as individuals think on our own. When you think outside of the box, because you're not going along with the collective. Be the person that puts the positivity. You be the person.
Yeah,
and
just
you
like
might not
Candace
even
always
reach
say.
50 people. Like out of 20 people, you might reach 1 or 2. Okay.
Just like Candace always
That's
say,
it.
be
1
the
or
energy
2
that you
is going to
want.
push it forward. 1 or 2 people are going to push it forward. They are going to do it.
But not only that, when you show up in the room, because I worked at a lot of Caucasian schools, okay? So when I came into the surroundings, I didn't come in with that typical hands hanging off my butt. So they didn't know how to read me at first. You know what I'm saying?
I bet they didn't, because they had an expectation.
Exactly. So when you show them that different narrative, it's like, oh, well, where did you grow up at? What did your parents do for a
Do
living?
it matter?
So, to them,
No, I'm saying like, I ain't asking you. I'm just saying like, why you feel me? Like why you asking me that?
Exactly, because they presume their assumption is we all come from the ghetto or the project.
Right.
We uneducated and don't know no better.
Right.
That's that. Yeah. So it's like, oh, you're different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We don't all show up
Listen,
in that spotlight that y'all see all the time.
Yeah, I shock them all the time when
I
I go
don't
like
even really.
when I go to my jobs or like certain environments where it's more of them, and I talk like I got some sense and I use a little bit of vocabulary. I shock them all the time. They don't even know. They don't even know that I used to sell drugs. I used to be in a gang. I got shot before and I did prison time. They don't even know that. All because of how I carry myself.
Do you know that the way you carry yourself, and hopefully that is real, because there's some people that be going to this shit like it's theater though. They're gonna be a whole actor the whole time, do the whole thing or whatever. But you know, I don't know what age you guys are. I'm over 50 myself personally. You get what I'm saying? And I know I've definitely walked into spaces that I was very uncomfortable with because I grew up in a neighborhood that was black.
Right.
The only fucking white person I ever saw this nigga was the fucking was the insurance man. He's the fucking insurance man or the goddamn landlord. That's it. Every kid I knew, black. The only white people I knew was a teacher. And that wasn't even every teacher. She was like, my white teachers was one person out of all the teachers I knew.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So that's all the fuck I knew. So now this is my normalcy. This is why I be looking at everybody. I look at the people in the gutter. I look at every fucking body. It's hard for me to outlook that because I grew up in shit like that, where it was no fucking white people that ever existed in my fucking life until I was a certain age to know that it's a difference. I didn't even know it was a difference at some point, but you fucking know after a while.
Right.
Where I grew up at, it was only black people. The fucking man up on the corner store, he was a white man on the liquor store. Only white person I knew till I realized my landlord is a fucking Jew. White man. The fucking Chinese man on the corner, he been there my whole life. So it's Chinese, it's fucking Jew, and the white man that owned the liquor store up at the other corner. Only white people I ever knew. Everybody else I ever been surrounded by, black, nothing but black.
Blackity,
so what's no fucking like intermingling? There ain't no fucking intermingling.
Right, it wasn't no representation.
I didn't go to a fucking school. It was white people. It's all black.
Right.
The school I went to was every fucking kid in the bitch was black. No white kid existed there.
She going off.
Seriously, I'm telling you the truth, though. I'm going to tell you the truth because, see, people under me could have a different experience.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to say my whole shit is, Candace, you know I loves you down to the ground, nigga. I'm older than you. My motherfucking experience different than you. Get you an older motherfucker is my shit. Right now at this point, get you an older person because I feel like young people and older people can learn from each other.
Yeah.
They can, and you might can't learn that from your kids all the time. I love Candace down to the fucking ground, and me and her be beefing, and we go through everything. But guess what? I'm gonna go get that nigga if she start acting crazy, cause nigga, you ain't gonna act crazy. I'm bringing your ass over here, come the fuck on. We ain't doing that, or whatever. But I feel like it's a thing. You get what I'm saying? I feel like we both can learn from each other because I feel like we need old school and new school together. How else do we learn?
Right.
You ain't gonna be no YN if we all got go by YN. We failing.
Yeah, let the media tell it we can't learn from each other. There ain't no
We're
point of
gonna
listening to
fail.
us
You
because we
need
don't know
old
what we're
school
talking about.
and YN.
Yeah, let
You
them tell
need
it.
old
They got to
school
work
and
right there.
YN.
Wait a minute. Let CJ talk, Sharanda. She
Oh,
go
no,
nowhere.
I was just saying, if you let the media tell it, we can't learn from each other because us older people don't know what we talk about.
Yeah. We need both. We need both because when we start dismissing each other, we already failed the whole system. And that's what they want us to feel like. That's what they want us to think. They want us to think that this system that we got going on is failure. But it's a whole lot of stuff missing. Don't believe because we come from these black neighborhoods, we come from black backgrounds, that's the only thing that exists. That's a lie. They got the same shit going on over there.
Yep,
You're
the
not gonna
same
hear it
thing.
though, because they're
Yep,
not gonna put that shit on front page. They gonna put
yep,
us on front page and always make us feel like we the failure.
yep.
Okay? We all go through shit. Y'all fucking know white people that go through shit.
I
Mm-hmm.
even heard
It's a
I even
lie.
heard white people saying the same thing. It was white people
It's a
saying the
lie.
same thing.
These
Right.
niggas be going through the same shit we go through, or even more sometimes.
Definitely.
It's
You
no
know,
difference.
I don't even remember where I was at
And I'm
on
clutching my pearls, Candace. Your
Mhm.
ass ain't even a clutching your pearls, nigga. You got a whole person that clutched the pearls over here. You get what I'm saying? Because my mom come from that. So of course I'm gonna take on some of the stuff from my mom. But that's why I want y'all to know it's important sometimes to have an older person. Seriously. Don't ever
See,
think that everything you fucking
that's
know as these young people today that exist because they want you to feel like this is all it is.
but that's
That's a
also
lie.
because
Lie.
the
So
older people
before,
don't
so
live in a
this
house
was
anymore.
good. So before we get out of here, is there anything else you guys would like to say?
Andre, you my dude. CJ, you my dude.
you my peoples too, shorty.
Okay, anything you got to say, CJ?
No, I'm good.
No, you good. He said no.
Yeah,
I'm like, look that
I'm good.
because look, we'd have been here all night long. And what about you, Andre?
Nope. Just one day that we gonna make be the change that we want to see. It's gonna happen.
Yes,
It's
yes,
gonna
yes,
happen.
absolutely. Well, thank you guys for joining the conversation tonight. This was really good. We talked about a whole lot of things. I'm glad that you guys were able to join us. Make sure you go follow, subscribe, like everything. And the challenge is still on, okay? Since we're talking about this unity and pushing thing for the anniversary, I just want 8 people to subscribe and follow on the YouTube channel and follow me on the platforms, on all the platforms. Um, I want you guys to do that. So while I got y'all on the line, y'all make sure y'all find 8 people. You watching out there, you find 8 people, and let's see if we can get 8 shares. Share some content. Share the post that I post, and also the comments and everything from the post that was on Instagram. If you comment on that post on Instagram, I will be replying to it shortly. But can you also go and write the same thing on the Facebook and comment and engage on there? But thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Candi Coated Secrets.
Hey,
And I will see you guys soon because we are still celebrating 8 years until I feel like I don't want to celebrate anymore because I deserve it. You deserve it. We deserve it. See you guys later.
all right, shorty.
All
All
right.
right. Bye.